You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. So strong, it's so strong, it's so strong. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
But Dave, did you want to add something to that?
Well, I was just gonna. Damn it! Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any indication on my end. That's why.
Is that perfect?
Thank you. I was just gonna say I was ambushed while you were away.
I heard
by
don't
two of our
names.
love.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. But you know, when you get into a situation where you are in a kind of in a public forum and ambush like that, keep your cool as much as possible, but don't give them, like, I don't know how to phrase it. Don't give them
ammo satisfaction.
Don't give them the satisfaction.
Well, you went off. I heard you went off on them.
Oh, I did, but it wasn't for anything they said about you. It was because they were practicing apologetics for some moral high ground on a person that has no moral high ground, and I don't even want to mention that person.
And yeah, we don't, and we don't for a reason. Like I said, when I say there's people worse out than Katie, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being hyperbolic.
No.
At all. And these are dangerous people. These people have actually done things in real life to harm people.
These are the kind of people that we're talking about when I say that the internet is a dangerous place, because you don't know what's lurking underneath this surface, and that there's the vanilla internet, and then as you start getting deeper and deeper, you get into like the dark recesses, and there's like, they're not as bad as like the darkest parts of the internet, but they're starting to get you're no longer in vanilla internet anymore, and these people will find your family and call your family. These people will find your job,
your landlord. Yeah,
they'll call your landlord and try and get you
try to get you to kill yourself. I mean, they want people. They want people to. These are the kind of people that actually will place bets whether the person will commit suicide or not. If they're bullied enough.
Yeah.
We're not talking about normal, rational people. And so, real quick, failed at engineering, $5 super sticker. You're number one. Thank you, Manya.
Wink.
Manya, you got.
Hi, I'm Holy Spackle, and I would just want to tell you that I never, ever have ever called someone's work. I have never, ever called someone's landlord. I have never, ever attacked someone's family. On behalf of the Dragoon administration, please understand that we take suicide seriously. If you're having suicidal thoughts, we can get you in connection with the suicidal helpline. Nobody is taking bets on whether or not someone will kill themselves. That is something that we take very seriously. Mental health is something that many of us struggle with. We understand.
All right. That video is old, but I have a new video. So that video was taken where some these claims were made, and they're very serious claims. There was the claims that folks like myself are part of the dark web, whatever that is. I'm assuming that's for unspeakable things like selling organs, and even worse, things that are just so gross that, like, like butterfly effect kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Like really twisted things. and so that was back in the days, where Bull, rest in peace, said that he was being ambushed because I confronted him on some things in a hangout called The Airing of Grievances. The hangout's name was The Airing of Grievances. So I told Bull, he said, "Hey, we're friends, da 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 da." And I said, "Bull, we're not friends. These are the things and my grievances with you." And then it turned into a big conversation. And then he ended up getting all freaky. And it went south from there. Not my fault. It was actually his fault at making assumptions. And then he yelled some things that he later apologized for, not to me, but to the person. And yeah, but the reason Dragoon's name is attached to that particular video was because at the time it was Sam and I that was talking to Bullinator. Fast forward, the accusations of these are the people that are part of the dark web. They want people to kill themselves, like all these things. This is simply not true. In fact, I would say that it's such a dark falsehood that, like, I find that slanderous. I find that offensive. And so I want you to know that I absolutely, I absolutely am not those things. And the people that I associate with in my close circles are not those things either. But we're running into some things where we're seeing repeat of narrations of things and stuff like that. Now, do I think that there are some trolls that exist that take things too far that I do not associate with? Probably yes. I don't know the evidence of a lot of these things that are, being put out there, but I would say this. If somebody like Cheshire or somebody like Steve or someone like Vanya or anybody like that, if they are experiencing horrible threats that are similar to, like, I'm going to show up at your house, or if they're experiencing any threats like I'm going to call your work, I'm going to dox you, whatever that is, report that to the police, please. I encourage anybody that is being threatened in that way, if somebody's taking it off of the internet and they're not doing videos ping-ponging back and forth, but they're actually threatening to go to your real life, like Road Dog, um, uh, you can go and file a police report. So if somebody ever threatens you in your inbox and says something like that, my advice to Cheshire is the same advice I gave Ilya Moon. When Ilya Moon said she got these death threats and suggested it was coming from TST folks, I asked Ilya Moon, I said, "Who are giving these death threats? Do you have that?" I think it's unacceptable. And that's true. I think anything like that is absolutely unacceptable. Do you know who's doing that? Because I don't want them in my community, like, in the communities I'm around, like, obviously, like, it take things that far. I don't want to be part of that. So I approached her actually, charitably as best as I could. And I didn't believe Ilya Moon actually. But if this is happening, X needs to happen kind of situation. She freaked out, told me that she deleted the tweets. She didn't actually have them. And I said, well, I advise, like, making a police report when people do these things, keeping a record, making a police report. If somebody is threatening you like that, then yes, file a police report. And she freaked out. And then later in the stream, Cheshire and her brilliance said, well, Holy Spackle was really quick to respond. Yes, because I think it's fucking unacceptable, even for people that I don't like. Okay. I don't like KJP, and things that I've seen happen to her is fucking unacceptable. I'm sorry. Is it wrong to humanize you? Like, are you upset that I humanize Ilya Moon? Like if that is in fact true, like there's these supposed death threats that are happening to Cheshire. If that is supposedly true, file a police report, because that troll, that weird one-off Rambo guy, if that's really happening, they need to get down to it. And like, like if that person, just, figure out who that is, I guess. Send the police report over to them. Like if they ever logged in under their phone, they can figure that out. Stuff like that. Stand up for yourself. Um, and unacceptable. If I found out anybody was doing that, that would be unacceptable to me. So I'm just putting that out there as a clarifier, even though I feel like I don't have to just spell it out for the dummies. That being said, I have a video of similar flavor, and I'm going to play that next, and then I have a couple guests, and we're going to watch some stuff. So it's one of those things where, I at the time when it happened, I was laughing, but it is pretty twisted. I think these folks expect you to not push back at all. By push back, I mean respond, and have a response to that. I'm sorry, but if you tell me I think that people ought to kill themselves, I'm going to respond and say absolutely not. If you're going to tell me I'm part of the dark web, I'm going to respond and say absolutely not. If you say these horrible things, people respond, and they're allowed to respond. And you are a public figure. So here we go.
And tell them there's a sociopath fucking trying to change it to murder. And he's like, I'm not changing my report. This person is unhinged. And this is that group. And Holy Spackle and her little entourage have put his autopsy report. Oh, somebody has put his autopsy report on their webpage. They're supporting this. And this person who put the autopsy report on his webpage called the coroner to try to get him to change his report to say it was murder, such that scared the coroner to the point the coroner had to call Brule's family and tell them there's a sociopath fucking trying to change it to murder. And he's like, I'm not changing my report. This person is unhinged. And this is that group.
Okay. That's an accusation. Holy Spackle and her entourage support a guy. I can only assume we're going to just name the name Batty. And they are part of this cabal that uploads pictures of, well, at one point in one video, he said pictures of the dead body, and another one, I hate having to respond to this because it's so disgusting. or the autopsy report. For one, on record, I think Robert Batty takes things too far. That's my position. I can't speak for other people, but my position is Batty takes things too far from what I've observed. I do not talk to Batty. We do not DM each other. We are not in any discords together. We don't talk to each other. I think it's too much. He does what he does. My understanding is he comes from exposing Kent Hovind, and Kent Hovind, in my opinion, is a huckster. And he takes things pretty seriously. He has some sort of connections or something. I don't know. I don't play with him. I don't want to mess with him. I'm not making myself an enemy to him, but I'm also definitely not endorsing him. And I wouldn't suggest anybody participate. Let Batty do what Batty does. If Batty gets consequences for what Batty does, then it's Batty's consequences. That's my stance on that. I don't like it. And I'm sure other people have their own opinion, but my opinion is I don't particularly like that style and what he's doing. It's not what I do. It's not what I participate in. Steve, it is not me. It is not my entourage. I don't have an entourage for one. I don't know what that is. Like, what the fuck? My friend group, I guess this means. No, it's none of us. None of us do this. Literally, none of us. None of us have contact with him. None of us, other than, I asked him on Twitter today, I said, can you explain yourself? Like, what is going on? And I haven't gotten a response back. But other than that, no. We don't talk to him. Okay, are we clear? So here's other shade that was thrown, just so you know. He also attempted to connect him not only to myself and my friend group, but he also tried to attempt to connect him to Paula Legia, Shannon Q, the ACA. No, just no, stop. What on earth? Anyway, I'll play this clip one more time and then I'm going to bring on the guests because I just think this is pretty insane. I'm actually not really upset because this is a level of crazy where I think that somebody that actually is friends with him should probably reach out and figure out what's going on with him. But anyway.
And Holy Spackle and her little entourage have put his autopsy report. Oh, somebody has put his autopsy report on their webpage. They're supporting this, and this person who put the autopsy report on his webpage called the coroner to try to get him to change his report to say it was murder, such that scared the coroner to the point the coroner had to call Brule's family and tell them there's a sociopath fucking trying to change it to murder. And he's like, I'm not changing my report. This person is unhinged. And this is that group.
Okay. He's trying to instruct my friend, Rob, of what kind of person I am. Rob luckily has a brain and can figure out like people are in like disputes or whatever, and he figures out who people are for himself. So I'm not worried about that. Rob is Switzerland. Leave him as Switzerland. That's what he does. I like the dude very much, and he has no requirement to have my grievances at all. Are we clear? All right. I'm bringing up a couple guests. So I'm going to bring up Exiled, and I'm going to bring up Fiona. And in the background actually is Steve with a actually, let me actually show you real quick. Sorry, Exiled. I'll be right back. 1 second. Can I make myself smaller? No. Okay, I was trying to show my background itself, but it's not working. So, okay. I am delusional. I can't do this. It's been a long day. Okay. Well, my background is an actual tweet of Steve's where he actually names himself Katie and an engineer, and because that's normal. It's something I've never done, Steve. Anyway, my guests are Exiled and Fiona. Exiled, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Oh, Fiona?
How's everybody? Hi to live chat.
Fiona,
you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Present and affirmed.
Takes a while. I'm such a brilliant dark web person. I can't even work my microphone.
I don't even know how the dark web. I don't know what this is. I don't think I want to know either, frankly.
Anybody who's ever had to talk me through how to update a piece of software knows I can't find my arse for an atlas, let alone the dark web.
Steve is talking out of his ass in that clip. I just wanted to point that out. There's a couple of things he's just outright lying about.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I
read Robert Batty's stuff. He never ever accuses anybody of murder.
Okay. Do you support him? Are you feeding him information or anything like that?
No, and he's never given Bull picture. He's never asked for pictures or any of that Steve is saying. I doubt very much that the coroner got so freaked out that he had to call Bull's family, because the coroner doesn't work for the family. The coroner is just supposed to do the autopsy and report on what he finds as the cause of death. He's not to get in contact with the family about other people who are contacting him. So I don't know why Steve's just making all this shit up. it looks like he was just doing it just to upset Landon. Yeah. Just to.
But Landon doesn't do anything about anything. Well, I don't think it's
I mean,
Landon. I think it's
Landon was
Rob.
probably horrified just to hear about Bull's passing because he
Well,
was
I think
very
he was doing
upset.
it to Rob because I'm not friends with Landon. I'm friends with Rob. But
Well, I know, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is the people in the audience are just having these extreme reactions to hearing this, right?
right.
How can any of it be true if there were no questions about murder, then Steve, the rest of what follows from Steve is just, it's got to be just complete made up bullshit.
I think it's an assumption because I tried to ask questions and poke around just to figure out what was going on, and I think the assumption is because somebody asked for a Batty, I think, asked for a toxology report.
Yeah.
I think the assumption they made was that it was the big M, dial M.
They should have done a toxicology report. The reason that, according to what Batty's showing from the coroner, they didn't because all of Bull's medicine was accounted for. What Batty pointed out was maybe he had not been taking his medicine so that he could, because that's actually an option. So, like the toxicology report would have settled it. That's it. He's done. Batty is done now after that.
Okay. So it wasn't necessarily that Batty was looking for like the M word. It was just like what happened kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not defending Batty. I think Batty takes things too far, too seriously, for sure. I'm just saying that, like, what Steve has said so far, it keeps shifting. And I remember him saying at one stream that there were pictures uploaded, and then it turned into they called the coroner, and the coroner was scared. And just like this weird stories that, like, if the coroner is scared, he would call the cops, I would imagine. Like it's just bizarre. But that being said, like, none of us interact with this dude.
Yeah, and I don't know why the coroner would be calling the family, just to upset the family or something. I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. So
I'll say I did have one interaction with him, with Robert Beatty. It was back in June, and I DM'd him on Twitter because he posted a link to an article somebody else had written, and it was a really interesting article. And I remembered something that I didn't know if they were aware of, and I wanted to give them a link to it. And it was to the online copy of the deposition of Thomas Schoenberger. He was being sued by Aaron Rich, Seth Rich's brother. Sorry, Schoenberger wasn't being sued. Ed Butowski was. And Thomas Schoenberger was deposed in that lawsuit. And that deposition is online. And so I contacted Robert Beatty to give him the link to the Thomas Schoenberger deposition, public record. And that was it. That's the only time I've actually been in touch with Robert Beatty. And I checked through everything because having heard this claim last night, I thought, I don't ever remember interacting with them other than the deposition. But maybe my memory is letting me down, because good gaslighters do that. They get you to doubt your own memory, your own recollection of something. I've checked everything. I can't find a thing except giving them the link to the Thomas Schoenberger deposition.
It doesn't matter because people are allowed to contact Beatty. In fact, the person who was all up in Beatty's grill is Steve McRae. He was in his group for years. And when they had a falling out, that is when Beatty became a problem, because he couldn't affirm the consequent or whatever Beatty demanded. Yeah, he just said, is Steve McRae this, or yes or no? He didn't take even a position, and Steve just had a tantrum, left his group, and started smearing Beatty all over the place. So Beatty pays attention to Steve now. That's how he works. That's how most people work.
I've known Beatty for I've known of Beatty for a long time, because everybody will remember when we used to spend our time in evolution versus creation debates. And one of the hot topics of conversation was always Kent Hovind. And Beatty is ex-IRS. So way before Kent Hovind did any time in prison, Robert Beatty was all over the investigation into Kent Hovind from an outside point of view. He wasn't with the IRS at the time. But he was really interested in this because this was a tax thing. And he was ex-IRS. Interesting to him. And he calls himself Kent Hovind's worst nightmare. And it's all Kent Hovind stuff. So that's when I came across Robert Beatty. It was when, donkeys years ago, we were all involved in creation versus evolution conversations. So, I mean, Beatty's been around for a long, long time. But I'd forgotten he even existed until he had this huge falling out with Steve.
Yeah, Steve used to love Beatty. He used to hang out in Beatty's Facebook group until he didn't, and now Beatty is the devil. That's it, you know.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird how like he gets all these people. Like there's like a whole group of community that he kind of invades, right? And then he invades another community, and then he splits the communities, and it's like this one weird split thing, and then he just kind of floats through. Like one of the things I've noticed is some of the people that Steve hates the most, the one thing that Steve has in common is that he brought some of these people into his fold. Kyle comes from Steve. Nobody brought Kyle to Steve. Steve brought Kyle to us.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Kyle until Steve got involved with him.
Defango, that's all Steve. Now Roadhog, he found Roadhog. Roadhog's all Steve, and I'm sure eventually Roadhog's gonna snap. Defango,
yeah,
like that's all Steve. So Kyle, Defango, like who is it? Katie Joy. Well, Jelly Juice is pretty hot, so let's have Katie Joy on our show. Now she's like enemy number one. But you brought her into your life, Steve. You wanted the views.
You need people. He needs people to survive. So, I mean, there's going to be fewer and fewer and fewer people for him to draw on after his reputation preceding him now.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to just play this really quick to catch people up of like the short clip of what we're responding to, and then there's a longer clip that we're going to respond to, and then I'll probably open up like an open hangout to discuss in general. But like I kind of want to get through some of this. So again, I'm going to add to the stream the short clip, and then that'll kind of give you the rundown of why there's a response to this, and then we can watch the context more longer clips. So
and Holy Spackle and her little entourage have put his autopsy report. Well, somebody has put his autopsy report on their webpage. They're supporting this, and this person who put the autopsy report on his webpage called the coroner to try to get him to change his report to say it was murder, such that scared the coroner to the point the coroner had to call Bull's family and tell them there's a sociopath fucking trying to change it to murder. And I'm not changing my report. This person is unhinged. And this is that group.
This is not that group. There are many groups and many people that you have decided to ostracize, malign, slander, stir up, and Batty is his own thing. So no, this is not that group. We do not interact with that group. Or he doesn't interact with this group. I don't know. I'm a little confused right now because it's been a long day. But I would say this: it's not. We are not the people you're looking for in this instance. If you feel that Batty has broken the law, then file a police report. It is not me. So, but yeah, that is just bizarre. Really bizarre. So there's a whole video, and this was a really interesting situation. So let me get that to the share box here. Maybe Steve should stop drinking, because some of the worst things that he ever says is on rum and coke nights. I don't know.
We do know the age of the Earth. It's not 7,000 years old. It is 4.5 billion. That's a fact. Nobody's belief is going to change that. So I think that when you're dealing with the nuances of religion, hey, it's anybody's guess. But when you start saying, hey, science is all wrong, and every discipline of science is wrong, then you're just so far in left field that you're not even on that table
But
any longer.
Steve, have you considered that the oldest tree in existence is only about 4,400 years old, which isn't true?
Yeah,
but
the colonial trees are much older.
There's some pretty old fungus out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was just kind of speaking to any question.
I am convinced that he is a sociopath, or even a full-on psychopath. And you see these things time and time again. You know how many people I know or I see on the internet that I am convinced are sociopaths. These are people who have no empathy if they're psychopathic, or at least have diminished capacities to the point where they have to fake having emotions. They have to fake having
sociopathy, Steve.
Sociopaths will generally have low emotional content, and then they have to.
The first, your first one was sociopathy.
Yeah, and then psychopaths have literally they're just not born with the conscious, and they don't really understand what empathy even is. But we see people feign it, and they can't do it very well because they're mirroring people. They're thinking that this is the social norm and say, oh look, this is what it's like to be normal. And then when they try doing it, it comes off as very fake because they have really no idea.
Well, it depends, right? Like a lot of it isn't malicious, right? Like that's a bit of a misnomer. It's like you need to be able to adapt. If so, psychopathy is something that you're born with.
So a couple things. One is Steve likes to use mental illness as a pejorative a lot. I mean, a lot. And if you ever suggest to Steve that maybe he seems depressed, maybe that's why he's been a hobo for so long, he will get really, really upset and act like you've maligned his character. And I've noticed over the years of knowing him that he uses mental illness almost as if it's a character flaw. And I think that, there's untreated mental illness where it's like, please get help or whatever. But like, he tends to use this big brush constantly. And then also like psychopathy and sociopathy, like that's some really rare terms. Like that's, well, it's outdated too, but like that's rare. Like it's not that common.
Neither of them have done a study on it. Okay. So I've done a 6-month study as an undergraduate, an independent study in college. And I'm not an expert. And so neither of these people know what they're talking about. They're just yammering on. What else? What else? How many people now are psychopaths, according to Steve? I think he called me one the other day.
He's called you and he has called me one. And it's somewhere in here unless I edited it out. And then like he's just throwing the term around so much, and it's like the only it's interesting how loosely he uses it, and how he's assuming so many people, like all these people, don't have empathy, and that's not true. Like I don't know why he's making that assumption. Like
I think he seems very angry about something, I guess because you left a comment. I guess you left a comment in the live chat.
So I left this comment, and the comment that triggered, so my friend's a guest on the show, and it was a bit passive aggressive, but I expected Manu to just yell at me and kick me. I didn't expect this ridiculous reaction. It was strange. So I leave this comment, and it's just like, yo, I'll catch you on the flip side when you're in better company. And it was very passive aggressive, but
so that's what had set him off on the you killed you accused Bull of being murdered and that sort of thing. I would just want to say something about that and the psychopath sociopath thing also. The thing I would like to point out is that a couple of these fuckers wouldn't even recognize a sociopath if they were standing right in front of their face, lying about everything in their life, stealing money and pretending to have cancer and buddying up really, really close with their good friend, Bullionator. And that I mean Ilya Moon. Okay, so these people don't recognize people who are really, kind of dangerous and bad because they're all over the place around them. Yeah.
He's buddying up with Roadhog.
Right.
Watch Roadhog for 5 minutes.
If I were them, I would be horrified. Like when I found out that Ilya Moon pulled a cancer scam, right? Instead of playing the victim, I would be fucking so outraged that at myself for even letting her get in up close with Bull to the point where they were planning to move in together, according to her. Yeah. I mean, like, remember her telling that to Nate during his live chat with her? Oh yeah, Bull and I, we're great friends. We're so close. He was going to move in with me, and he died. Yeah, all of that fakery. That's what they're talking about. Okay, this is what stumps them. This is what fooled them. They didn't recognize it. So none of them are experts on what they're talking about right now. Yeah, we're simply critics of him. We simply don't like him, and to him, that is such a horrifying thing. Like that is the worst thing in the world. Is somebody who doesn't like Steve, who has pissed him off. These people are now evil. Evil.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, it's strange to see a skeptic do the huge good and evil dichotomy. But again, like he's on the rum and coke night. He's just been done talking about ghosts and giving credence to ghosts, by the way, previously. If you want a good kick, that is funny, really funny, and it really held back to when he was talking about his experience that he can't explain with the Ouija board.
Right?
It's like, what?
I just want to read Beach's comment. Loyalty to King Steve is the first and only requirement. That's why he gets worked by grifters and liars so easily. Yeah, he gets fooled by people. That's what happened with Earl David Warden. Fooled him. That's what happened by Kyle. Fooled him. That's what happened. Ilya Moon, Sean Hufford. It's just if they kiss his ass, it's all good. So anybody can work Steve. Just kiss his ass a little.
Yeah, so this is the comment that triggered it so badly. I don't know if you can read it, but I say, let me bring it up. I can't even read it. Dang, it's so small. Let me see if I can zoom in. Stand by. Too many windows. We're professionals here.
Just read it.
I can't.
I dig Rob.
Let me bring it up.
I dig Rob, but it's much better. But it's much better when he's not surrounded by creeps. Catch you when you're in better company. Catch you when you're in better company. What was that? What the fuck was that?
Sorry, I hit a button.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I said I dig Rob, but it's much better when you're not surrounded by creeps. And I put little hearts. That's passive aggressive. Yeah, absolutely. Catch you on the flip side when you're in better company. I said that, but I didn't say like this is the kind of guy Steve is. And I expected Manya to just give me like the whack. I was surprised I was not blocked. I usually am blocked, so I was kind of shocked about that. And I was like, I didn't even think it would show up, to be honest. I thought it was gonna be. I thought I was already banned. So I'm just like, okay, okay. And the reaction that I got was like, Holy Spackle's responsible for a whole lot of dark webby stuff. I'm like, what? Like, like what? I've done what? I'm with who? And so like it's very, very strange. And just so you guys are aware, I guess on the community page of Cheshire, and then also on the Twitter sphere. Cheshire has a 20 page document in 9-point font that she's been keeping in a thumbnail in a safe. Oh wait, that's red. Cheshire has a blog that she's going to put out for her patrons, and it's going to outline the Gordian knot and how all the trolls are connected and everybody's part of the same cabal, and eventually it's going to lead to the ACA, Matt Dillahunty, Aaron Raw, Shannon Q, Paula
No way.
Logia, all that. Yes.
Is that really true?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
there's the Gordian knot of trolls, and they're all intertwined, and she's going to link out like how they're all intertwined. And then like in this stream, she discusses how Paula Logia is connected to Batty, which he's really not. How like, and then they go off on the ACA, how they're not stopping Jimmy Snow, and Jimmy Snow is a rape apologist for Gabby, and somehow that's connected to all of us. I have no idea. Like, they're just so out there that it's become a massive paranoia, conspiracy theory shebang, and the goblin's not stopping it. She's just feeding it, I guess.
Yeah.
And Steve has just gone wild. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched this, but definitely watch it. It's ridiculous.
This is absolutely batshit.
I'm not watching anything he does. I can't stand him. I think he's a disgusting human being. And he displays that on the internet very frequently.
Do you know, Beach has just made a really good point. This is G-man tier paranoid conspiracy nonsense.
It is, and that's why I'm fascinated in a way, because I'm like, I can't even be like mad or upset. Like, I'm like, this poor man like is surrounded by people that aren't helping him. like
Good.
like they're just feeding it. Sure, Steve, let's go with it.
Like, I want Roadhog to become his best friend.
Oh, that's mean. That is mean. I'm not quite sure.
No, it isn't.
But it's mean.
I want Roadhog and Steve to become buds. I want them to have a beer together.
Anybody from the UK will remember the song "I Like Trucking" and "I Like to Truck." Not the 9 o'clock news. Yeah, it was about running over hedgehogs.
Oh, hedgehogs. Okay.
It came from not the 9 o'clock news, but yeah, I can just see them on a road trip.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, well, let's press on. This took forever to download, so I don't know if they clipped anything, but we're going to just press forward.
Maybe they could go after the whores together on their road trip.
Yes, you're born with it. You have to live your life this way. That you have no choice. And so as you grow up, you learn to cope with it, right?
Yeah.
You learn ways to work around.
Cheshire is explaining
society,
psychopathy,
right? Because you don't
and
have that
sociopathy,
innate,
by the way.
You don't have the innate tools that you need, so you have to learn how to work around these situations. Actually, I have somebody that's I'm working with. Bearded Heretic, and we're bringing on somebody who is a psychopath who wants to talk about psychopathy versus sociopathy and actually.
Well, you're getting Kyle to do an interview?
No.
Oh.
Okay. So like, Kyle is not a psychopath. Like, at least if you're gonna throw like mental illness as a pejorative, get the right one. Like, he's definitely not a psychopath.
Yeah, isn't she a self-admitted sociopath?
I have no idea. She just says things in ways that make me worry about her, because she says things like, I believe, and it is she says, I believe, and it is my opinion that, and then she talks about aborting 3-year-olds. So like, yeah, we had questions.
Yeah, I'm really not interested. I'm not interested in having anything to do with psychopaths. Like, I wouldn't sit on a panel with one ever. Yeah, ever. Sorry, I just wouldn't do that. I think that's great for clicks and views. Yeah, but I don't like psychopaths. I want to avoid them at all cost, and everyone should want to do that, in my opinion.
You don't want to buy them like a coffee and just sit down and chill and get to know their life?
I don't want to yuck it up with a psychopath. No. But I maybe I would watch a clip of Cheshire yucking it up with a psychopath. That'd be fascinating to me.
Are they really informed about it, or do they
Because
just
I've
Google?
studied them. I've studied them because I encountered one early in life. Yeah, he was diagnosed, and to me, as a psychopath. So I mean, I have my life fucked up by a psychopath. So no, I would not want to sit down with a psychopath of any kind. Yeah, even the nice kind. Yeah.
But what's baffling me is if psychopathy is rare, and I mean it is genuinely, it is rare. There's an awful lot of them that they think seem to be around them. So either they're attracting a lot of psychopaths, or they're flinging out this term for no good reason, and they're talking shite. And I suspect it's that.
Yeah, they can be
They
very
just throw it out.
they can be very charming. You know, look at David Earl David Warden, right?
Yeah,
Very likely
I don't.
a psychopath.
Social.
On some level of the spectrum. Okay, he's on the spectrum there, and hey, he seemed like a nice guy. Yeah, well, that's because they're charming. Yeah.
Well, that's why, like, when folks say, like, so and so is a nice person,
but
I'm
clip.
like, okay, sweet. Now also observe them. Like, just because they're nice to you, they might not all, it might not just observe how they treat animals, observe how they treat each other, observe how they treat their loved ones, their relationships, observe that, and just take everything as sort of a whole and kind of figure it out from there. Because just because someone's sweet to you and can mimic, kindness and flatter you doesn't mean anything, right? Jeez. Mouty says, I'm right here.
Wonder what Christopher Mouty thinks about that. Would you interview a psychopath, Christopher Mouty?
Well, if anybody should or could, it might be him. But yeah.
He'd interview them, all right. He'd interview them until, their eyes were black and they were ready to kill somebody.
Their eyes were black, like Doll's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing this because it gets weird, and I can't remember all the timestamps, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll shush.
Much more obviously a narcissist.
Oh, yeah,
because Kyle definitely
I don't
has
think he's
emotions.
Okay, so everybody's this. Right. Okay.
Compound, and I'm sure
That's
you
easy.
responded, "What insurance?"
that Kedhoven has experience in structuring.
The term he used. That'll get it in the door. Once you have a perjury charge,
build the case.
right? Once you have a perjury charge, that leads to other things. Is what I'm thinking.
Thank you.
And come watch him play D&D and his.
Yes.
So this thing is not even a glass of wine.
By the way, Alien Beauty was the only one that bothered to like.
He has a past. He has a record, right? Of I don't know what you call it technically. I don't know if it's felonies or what.
He's a felon.
He's a felon, and because he thinks that he has gotten away and he's still free. I think so. He thinks he's gonna get away with this time also, and maybe that's why he's not worried.
I think she's talking about
like,
Kyle.
A regular person would be like, take the chance, I'm gone, bye.
There's two things, and I think I can address kind of what Robert's question was earlier. Is what is in this for Kyle? Why would Kyle continue to do this?
Yeah, I'm totally just back because
doing?
This is all. It's all coming back, and I'm getting,
It's a
and then
lot.
I'm just thinking.
I think it's obvious,
why?
but I don't know if anybody on here is going to say it. And I'm about to go, but drugs. Drugs.
Well, I was going to
Drugs and
say
alcohol
they
are
were
bad.
Oh, you mean caffeine?
There are people that are stroking something that's not his ego, but kind of looks like it.
Yeah. So there's two main.
Doesn't a replacement non-sexual
boring.
take place? Part of the sanctions we're asking for is to have what's called what is it? Yeah. You haven't been around,
We miss
Robert.
him.
Things have changed.
We miss him. Anyway, Bulls is missed.
Hashtag
but
what
yeah,
about
it was
Bull?
a
Have a
medical-
shot.
Cheers
a
for Bull.
medical
Cheers for
thing.
Bull. You can't see me, but I've got a cup in my hand. It's right here.
Yeah, here's the Bulls.
Cheers. That's gosh.
Into the legal case in some cases. I'm not involved.
Okay,
Regularly
here's
featured
where
on
they
the
started.
got that fucking asshole.
It's the moron in the DSM.
Steve left this guy's Facebook group. Steve made a post saying, "Hey, I left this Facebook group because I didn't like the way the moderation was. Didn't name the person, didn't name the
Know something.
And
It's
I've been
been
right
very,
every
very
time when I've been
factual.
notes.
off air.
Fiona and
I will show you. I'll show you off air at some point. There's another layer to this too, and it's that you've got
Layers,
these people are trying to
layers,
insert
bingo.
themselves into the legal case in some cases. But you've got a situation, and you've got like a double down where you've just got this Gordian knot, and that's what I've just been calling it. It's just a Gordian knot of people who are completely just vindictive against Steve for the most minor bullshit you could imagine. Like, take for example, I don't know, I'll pull one out of my ass. Steve left this guy's Facebook group.
Oh, got that fucking asshole.
Steve left this guy's Facebook group. Steve made a post saying, "Hey, I left this Facebook group because I didn't like the way the moderation was. Didn't name the person, didn't name the group." This person then exposed it was them because he said it on Twitter, not even on Facebook. The dude followed him from Facebook to Twitter to get in an argument with him, then did not stop for 14 days before I lost count because I got distracted.
That's pretty good considering Steve went on Katie for how long? How many days?
2 years.
About 2 years. There was one time where we just kind of every so often would like take a look. I say in general, people, that like just people laughing and eating popcorn. And like Steve at one point was tweeting every 4 minutes and it was all about Katie.
Yeah.
Every 4 minutes.
I showed people on Twitter how he went and posted things that came from a private women's group on Facebook, a women's group for a particular medical condition that Katie had been in. Somebody went in there, took screenshots out of there, and Steve was posting them all over Twitter.
And they weren't even just Katie's posts.
They weren't
other
even.
women's posts.
They were other people's posts. It's insane. He was going nuts. We witnessed this. I have evidence of it, Steve. I have fucking evidence because I went to the administrator of the group because the name of the group was right there in the screenshots. So I was able to go to the group on Facebook, say, "Hello, I'm not a member. I don't want to be a member. I just need to tell you this." And they appreciated it because they knew they had somebody in there trafficking shit out of their group. And she took a look at Steve's timeline and she was like, "Holy crap. Oh my God. Thank you for letting us know." Yeah. So, I mean, this stuff happened. This is why he got a restraining order. It's one of the reasons. That's how mental he was.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I'm sure Landon
He
looks
is still
fascinated by this
going,
convo.
has tried to insert himself into some shit and has accused a lot of us of a lot of fucking horrible shit that I'm not going to get into. He's ingratiated himself.
Hang on a minute. Stop there.
Who's she talking about?
Batty.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this would be the person who Cheshire accused of sexually harassing her. Or sorry, one of the many people.
Wait.
Accused of sexually harassing her.
Batty?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, there's a whole long list of them. Right. This is the way it works.
I wouldn't necessarily defend anything unless you know anything, by the way. But yeah.
Right. What happens is this. Cheshire puts out
Did I die or did Fiona die?
Fiona died. Well, she didn't die. I shouldn't say that. What happened to your Fiona? She's such a dark web member. She can't even work her microphone.
Fiona is so dark web that I think she muted herself.
You're muted, Fiona.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you unmuted.
Mute myself. I moved my microphone on the table.
Oh my God.
Connection, and it reset all my sound settings. And this is with a Mac that can't go wrong. Oh God. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. So this is how the game is played. Cheshire puts out something on Twitter, and the person who it's about pushes back on it. And Cheshire says she will fight back a little bitty. And then the person doesn't give way and says, look, this is nonsense and you know it. Whereupon she says, stop speaking to me. No means no. And if the person says, no, wait a minute, you're going to retract the accusation. Cheshire says, I told you no. This is now sexual harassment. If the person's a male. She's done it to a number of people. Because how dare you try and refute the lie I told about you? If you try and refute her lie, she accuses you of sexually harassing her.
Oh, yeah. In this video...
She did it to Robert Beatty.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's done it to Unirock. She did it to Science First.
That's ridiculous.
And remember, at one point, I had counted up all the people that had been accused, all because they pushed back at what she was saying about them. And I'd got up to eight people.
Well, even in this video, at a certain point, just from that tweet of like, nice company you have there, I really like you. Catch on the flip side when you're not surrounded by creeps. That induced him to make no means no commentary, and to come and to say that if I was a man and he was a woman, people would be taking this seriously. And I'm like, first of all, no way am I sexually harassing Steve. That's disgusting. But like, also, like, it's one of those things where hang on,
puppy problems.
It's an improvement on microphone problems. At least puppies.
I don't know. The dog's crying. I
Microphones
don't know. 1 second. Continue. I gotta figure out what the dog's crying about.
He wants a treat. I can tell.
Doggy sweeties. XXXiled was right when it was my cat annoying me.
They always want a treat.
Oh, is that how you got it right? Because that's what you said to me.
Yeah.
Your cat wants a treat. And you were right. That's a good cat, sweeties.
I'm always right.
That's true.
When it comes to animals, they always want a treat.
Oh, my luck with animals is not good at the moment. It really isn't. But having said that, nothing bad's happening to the animals. It's the animals that have been happening to me, as in the horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're big, they're heavy, and they're really good at breaking teeth. My teeth. Yeah.
Oh, your teeth. Yeah, be careful.
I'm still in the middle of getting that work completed to try and rebuild what they've left me with. What a nightmare. I'm hoping the final rebuild will be done this week.
Oh, God. And that's just from the horse?
Yeah. That was a few weeks back.
It was painful.
Well, it didn't help that I landed face first in some big weeds with hidden rocks.
No.
I wasn't even riding. That's the worst of it. I wasn't even riding. I was on the ground. Although, I mean, I can blame myself because it was the big horse, and she went up on her back legs, and she's very tall on her back legs. And I decided, no, lady, I'm going to stand my ground. I'm backing off. That was the wrong move to make in fluffy slippers and a little pink dressing gown.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes, I was in my pajamas putting the horses out. So, yeah. And I ended up dangling off the end of the rope because she just pulled me right up off the ground because she's so tall and swung me around and pinged me off the end of the rope.
Oh,
and I landed face first on a rock. Yeah, I know.
Ow. More than ow. It sounds horrible. Yeah.
Well, I did actually say more than ow. There was a lot of swearing involved.
Oh, I bet. And blood.
Oh, yeah. And then once I sorted the horses out and given them into trouble and done all that I had to do and being the big strong person, I crawled in the front door, went up to my husband and went,
You crawled? I could see you crawling. out in the yard, in the back garden, just crawling after being beaten by the horse.
I've done that. I mean, there's
That
a few
image in
times
my
I've
mind.
actually come in the door on my hands and knees.
Yeah.
Because of the injuries.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is why I like cats. Yes. It's when husband opens the front door and there's nobody there, and then he looks down and I'm on my hands and knees in my pajamas.
Secret Squirrel, did she really show up to your place covered in slime? Because that's just rude. That's just rude.
The day in the pond, yes, I did. Yeah, I had to take some stuff to Secret Squirrel, and I'd fallen in the pond that day. Just before we were due to leave the house to get to Secret Squirrel in time, and I didn't have time to clean up. So it was a really hot day, and I turned up at Secret Squirrel's in a long-sleeved black jacket because there was all this pond slime stuck to my arms, and I had to cover them up somehow.
Okay, I'm back. I am so sorry. The dog, like, so we have a puppy, and she's eight months now, and she likes to be a den animal and squeeze into small places. And I think she's just now realized that she can no longer squeeze under the couch, which was amazing that she could in the first place. But unbeknownst to me, she slid under the couch and then was like, I heard this, "Arr, arr," and I'm like, she doesn't usually cry like that. Like, what's going on? And I'm thinking, like, the way the acoustics work, like, it's way far out there. She's under the couch. You can't get out anymore. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so, like, we had to, get her out. She's fine. But, like, I was like, can we not go under the couch anymore? What's happening? So that's what was all that. And if you heard that, that was interesting.
I heard it. I heard you.
Yeah, it was doggy drama every day.
Oh God, I forget where we were here. I don't know.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Between the horses and the dogs.
I know, right?
And the cats.
Oh man, it reminds me of Jade, where she's like screaming, "Friday, Friday!"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially the night that Freddie brought her the live mouse. And
just dropped
it on her keyboard, and we could all hear the mouse squeaking in the hangout. That was hilarious.
It is
pretty gold. That's pretty gold.
Oh yeah, I wish I could find out what hangout that was.
We will.
Because
we'll
it was
find that.
so funny.
So the timestamps in this and stuff like that, like these hangouts, rum and cokes, go on for hours and hours and hours. So I may have missed what I was looking for, but I'm gonna just kind of press on and then play.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
All right.
The people who work on the line, which is Jimmy Snow and the ACA people. It's fucked.
Wait. Isn't Jimmy that ex-Mormon guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That I actually debated with Kenny and a few others on that.
Steve's an ex-Mormon.
Let me try to pull this back a little bit again. Let's see. She's talking about her Gordian knot, remember?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Tried to insert himself
That's
into
batty.
some shit and has accused a lot of us of a lot of fucking horrible shit that I'm not going to get into. He's ingratiated himself with the people who work on the line, which is Jimmy Snow and the ACA people.
So he's saying that the baddie ingratiated himself with Jimmy Snow and ACA. She's made the clear connection between baddie and them.
Okay.
Okay, so that's her connection. Okay, I'm not saying it's right or like whatever, but that's what she's saying.
Baby.
Okay.
Oh, you evil, devious genius.
I know, this is crazy.
It's fucked.
Wait. Isn't Jimmy that ex-Mormon guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That I actually debated with Kenny and a few others on
The
that.
guy who said, who was on a show called Ad Homies and was regularly featured on the Non Sequitur Show and was streaming with Kyle to the Non Sequitur Show after the Stephen Poole situation went down. Well, there was a cease and desist. Went ahead and said, "I'm not involved."
And he wasn't.
Does anyone believe that that
Looney.
that
She's just Looney
Jimmy
Tunes.
and Batty are in tandem together?
She's Looney Tunes, really.
No.
Does
Sorry.
anyone believe that the tale that they're spinning, that Batty's doing exactly what they're saying?
No, I think they're falling apart. Both of them. They're
Okay.
both Steve and Cheshire. Probably AT2 too. He's probably feeding them this information.
How could he not?
This
He
is
was
the
more-
guy
he
who
was-
now
he was
currently
completely involved.
it gets worse because this person is now has people coming forward saying that he was sexually inappropriate with them, utilizing his platform as leverage. On top of,
Sounds familiar.
he has been supporting a rape apologist known as Gabby Hanna.
That sounds very familiar.
Oh,
and
it does.
he went
This is the
sideways as-
accusation. This is the accusation that she throws out every time, and it's because everything all goes back to Steve and the warden nonsense. This is all still their damage control because Steve couldn't say, "Oops, I made a mistake."
Yep. But
That's
anyway,
what it's all about.
Jimmy Snow never said anything about Warden, so I don't know what she's talking about. Anyway, I'm fascinated. I want to hear more.
Fuck to Rachel Oates.
Oh my god!
Oh, he went so sideways on her.
What networking connections? Like I'm familiar with all
There is no connection. She is making connections.
these names, and it's just like one
Yes.
big
Dude,
cluster.
read the book when it comes out, okay?
It is a Gordian knot, so it gets better.
The reason why it's a Gordian knot, which is not a Gordian knot, the reason why people are connected is because we are in a community of people that like to debate and debunk and argue. And sometimes it's about social issues, sometimes it's about religion, but it's all on the same platform. It's all like this, like different connections. And so what
Amazing.
happens, and I'm just going to say this, what happens is people in social groups, like, I don't know, what is it? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon happening. Plus, we're all in the same micro community. If you were to take a look at YouTube as a whole, gaming's pretty big, beauty's pretty big, travel's pretty big, but like this whole weird little niche of people that like to argue is actually fairly small.
It is. And her group is even smaller because they isolate in their bubble. So she just doesn't understand people who don't isolate in a bubble.
So this reminded me of something, this idea of a Gordian knot and how people are connected. And there's a show I like to watch. It's an older show, but there's a show that I like to watch. And Alice thinks she's just brilliant. And I got the best ideas. And she's a little radio show gossip hostess. And it's called The L Word. And Alice is a character on The L Word. And Alice comes up with this brilliant idea that everybody's interconnected, which, I mean, is kind of true to some degree. Like there is some interconnectivity to all communities, and there is a going saying in lesbian communities that if you slept with somebody, then they likely slept with one of your friends too. like it's a smaller community in the same groups of people in the same cities and stuff like that. And so like there is sort of like this thought of like, wow, people are really connected in these little sub communities. And so it's really easy to make these sort of connections. And I can show you an example really quick. It's a really short little thing where Alice and the L Word makes this, it's a reenactment, but it makes this chart of how Shane is the Mac of the group, the person that just tends to be the one that sleeps around quite a bit. And Shane is sort of a hub. And then from Shane, you could make all these little shootout connections of who's connected to Shane. It's not that people actually sleep with Shane, way down the line. It's just that like people are connected, right? I don't think this concept of that people are interconnected and 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is anything new. Like it's pretty common. So let me share the sound. 1 second. Stop screen. Share sound. I can never remember to share sound. There we go. All right.
This is not dirty, it's the way I say it. I know a guy named Joey. Joey goes with Moe. Moe goes with Jaime. And Jaime goes with Sadie. And Sadie goes with Abby. And Abby goes with Davey. And Davey goes with Howard. And Howard goes with Charlotte. And Charlotte goes with Shirley. And Shirley goes with Pearlie. And Pearlie goes with Yara. What a drag, what a drag. I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me. I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm too late to get mad, because I know a guy, it should happen already. I know a guy named Solly. Solly goes with Molly. Molly goes with Charlie. And Charlie goes with Ollie. And Ollie goes with Eddie. And Eddie goes with Teddy. And Teddy goes with Freddie. And Freddie goes with Jackie. And Jackie goes with Blackie. And Blackie goes with Irving. And Irving goes with Seymour. And Seymour goes with Sydney. And Sydney goes with Melvin. And Melvin goes with Marvin. And Marvin goes with Terry. And Terry goes with Jerry. And Jerry goes with Slimey. And Slimey goes with Maishi. And Maishi goes with...
So that's what, 71 names on the chart I think they came up with, and the two main hubs are Shane and I think Lauren, and they were kind of the players of the group. And then from there and all their interactions in LA, they come up with this bigger group of community of how everybody's interconnected. And so like her reasoning wasn't like there's a Gordian knot and basically everybody sleeps together. It was not her point. The point was there are these random acts of sex, encounters, romances, one night stands, 20-year marriages, 20-year marriages of monogamy, even like, you know, like where you've been together for a while. But still, there might be some sort of connection to Shane somewhere down the line. And it's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but in lesbian culture.
Vito, and Vito goes with Guido, and Guido goes with Sammy, and Sammy goes with Manny, and Manny goes with Jaime. What a drag, what a drag. I'm not mad at you.
So there you go. That is my random comparison to this Gordian knot idea that everybody's connected. So like, yes, if you maybe somehow look at Batty and go, well, Batty interacts with Hovind, but so does Paula Loggia. Somehow they're connected.
Yeah.
In some weird harebrained scheme.
As long as she's figuring shit like that out, that she's not attacking people and doxing them, that's wonderful.
That's attacking Paula Loggia. She's trying to make a connection to Paula Loggia to like things that he's not involved in.
Does anybody remember the last person who was busy online doing one of these weird things? There's a piece of software you can get that you put in the names and the links come up and the colors happen, and I can't remember what it's called.
She probably learned all this from
does anybody remember who it was that was doing that online?
Defango.
Live? Defango.
Mm-hmm. Who's one of Steve's attack dogs, or was.
It still is.
Yeah, business partner of Thomas Schoenberger.
So basically, this is the type of thing that Defango was trying to teach her. Like, look at everybody's Twitters and see who they follow and who they interact with, and it'll, turn up all the big conspiracy. It's a big conspiracy.
The other thing is I don't follow everybody I agree with either. Like, that's the other thing.
No.
Like ooh, like do you think everybody just agrees with everybody too? Like, I follow a lot of people I disagree with. Like, what are you talking about?
Do you know what? If anybody wants to have a look, I'll look at what I follow on Twitter. The vast majority of accounts I follow on Twitter are cats that have really bad spelling and grammar.
That's because cats are psychopaths. That's why we're following them.
Cats are
I mean, people make specifically make Twitter accounts for their cats, and these cats communicate with other people, and mainly with other cats. I mean, I'm in touch with a cat in Australia.
Well, yeah.
But I've included otters and turtles as well. That's my follow list on Twitter.
But no, really,
seriously.
Thank you for showing us that, though, Spackle. I didn't know she was explaining that shit.
Yeah,
live
I'm sure
while drunk.
I'm sure it's gonna be more salacious what she says and stuff like that. But yeah, but also somewhere on this stream, and maybe I can't find it, and I can maybe press on if you want to or stop it here. But he also says these are people that have harmed people in my real life.
Yes.
Like I've gone out and harmed people in real life, and I can't figure out for the life of me what he's saying. I don't know if he's suggesting one thing that I mean. This is just me, like it's opinions and supposing and trying to figure out his brain. I noticed that Sweet Heathen has taken a hiatus. I don't know if he's talking about her taking an exit, and for whatever reason, maybe she exited. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about because he doesn't explain it. He just throws out the accusation with no like way to rebut it or anything. Like nobody. I mean, what do you do with that? How can you like people that have like said something about Steve at least spell it out and give you a timestamp and screenshots? Like nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm baffled about that. They have caused real life harm.
The more that Katie Joy Paulson just continues doing whatever it is she wants to do and not paying attention to him, the crazier he gets. That's what's going on.
Yeah, they also talked about Team Skeptic. Team Skeptic, I don't talk to. Like we don't hang out. Team Skeptic's tactics and fight the flat Earth tactics, in my opinion, are very much the mirror and the same in the culture of Reds and A2T2 tactics and culture. Like they're the same in my mind. They're the same tactic wise. Like I'm not thrilled with either pairs of those people. Like this idea, like there's a Gordian knot, and now this person's tied to this person. And it's like we're in communities that circle around each other that like to argue.
IMAX would be proud of them.
Is there anything else good in this, or
yeah.
was that the best part?
Well, there's like these people harm people in real life thing that like Shadow is highlighting, and like Steve has said that about Shadow. He was saying it on Twitter, and like there's like no evidence of this.
No.
My attitude is if you're gonna fight on the internet, keep it on the internet.
There's evidence that every single person Rhetoric gets into a relationship with as a roommate ends up going up in flames. That's pretty much what the evidence shows. Going back to Phantom Lion. So I mean, whatever. Didn't Red say he was on the spectrum or some kind of sociopathic spectrum?
No, he did not.
What did he say?
He self-diagnosed himself with depression.
With depression.
But he as far as I know, him and Steve seem to reel
he said
back.
He was cluster B.
No, he did not. He never did. He did not. I don't think he said that.
I keep hearing that from people.
I don't know about that. He needs to see somebody, and so does Steve, in my opinion. But like that does not mean it is a pejorative. Like that is their unwillingness to do that. Like it's weird that he's hurling it to people that are willing to see somebody. Like they aren't.
He probably never really was diagnosed. He's just diagnosing himself, guys. Clinically diagnosed cluster B antisocial, Negative says. I thought Negative put that out.
No. Okay. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe. I don't know.
Not surprising.
But like he seems to be somebody that's averse to getting assistance in that way. So. But maybe
diagnosis is the first step. I hope he gets help.
what's baffling me about all of this is that
they
can actually sit here and they are making all of this up. Do they actually believe this themselves? Or do they know that it's absolute bullshit and they're just hoping that other people will believe them? This is the bit I can't sort out in my head. Are they aware that this is bullshit? Or are they so delusional that they actually believe the stuff they're saying?
It's community fan art made up by Cheshire while she was on vacation.
Oh God. I mean, it is utter nonsense.
Yay.
Yeah, it's drives me nuts.
You know who's part of the line and all wrapped into this? And who hates Steve because of the definition of atheism? Matt Dillahunty.
Oh my!
She's not
What?
kidding.
He was once in a live chat where he said, and I'm paraphrasing it. Oh, so we are going to believe a drunken, rejected boyfriend rather than Kyle Curtis around this NSS case.
Yeah,
he made that comment.
Here's what he said. Oh, you asked Steve?
Yeah.
I can pull it up.
I have a screenshot. Yeah, no, what Matt Dillahunty said was
Wait. So just to quickly clarify, Matt Dillahunty, how the heck is he involved?
because
with all this?
he was with
But
Kyle and the
because
rest of the Faithless Forum.
all ingratiated together.
They're one big
But
clusterfuck.
He's
Isn't
a
it-
popular atheist dude that's doing his own thing. And
No.
You'd think.
You would
but-
think.
You'd think.
Yeah, no,
Landon
he
is buying
basically
this
said what all this comes down to is the
bullshit.
word of a jilted ex-drunk lover.
Come on, Landon.
Congratulations.
Well, for one, Rob plays
Oh
the
my God.
Rob plays Switzerland. So he's gonna stay Switzerland. Landon plays Switzerland, but I think Landon, I have concerns about Landon, but I think that they both are trying to be Switzerland, and I'm not gonna force somebody not to be Switzerland. They can
Oh,
be
good.
Switzerland
I'm
if they
glad
want
he's
to.
at least Switzerland. I just, it sounds like he's believing this. That's okay. I'm just maybe getting the wrong impression. I hope.
He's on your win, Kyle.
Because Kyle,
Kyle,
because
congratulations on your win, Kyle.
And the person he's referring to is Kyle's ex-boyfriend Ben, who came forward when he heard about the case because Kyle forged his signature in the legal documentation that he submitted to the court.
Yep.
And that wasn't even the worst thing.
That wasn't even the worst thing.
And that has
one of
to
the
do
biggest guys in the world, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Oh
this
my God,
Matt
I've been on the
Dillahunty?
wrong.
I am
That's-
just totally lost. All
Worse.
these-
Do you want more?
Did you even know that I had a TRO on me? That Katie tried to take out a
Well, I am actually under a rock. I'm in Australia, so it's like
I gotta make out like a fucking flow chart that like
It's
redirects
bizarre.
and like ties all this shit together because
So
it's
that
like
means all those, like,
insane.
You need a murder board. Do a murder
It'll
board
look
for
like
Crazy
it'll look like
Oh,
a
like the board that's
collage
just like
made
got
out
all
of-
the connections and the strings and like
it'll look like a collage a finger painting that you made out of horse shit when you're done. It'll literally look like that. I could draw it out for you.
Yeah, I think Landon's kind of a space cadet.
I think
When it comes to social things, he's like, woo! Like,
Okay.
This is getting crazier by the minute.
right. So they moved from like me and my entourage being involved in things that we're not involved in to expanding it to like somehow now it's Matt Dillahunty, and there's collateral damage along the way. At one point, like Steve goes, I don't have a problem with polylogia, and then and Shannon Q, and then Chess interrupts and goes, I do, and Rob gets this expression like he finally like lost his deadpan because like he was just laughing at her.
Okay.
Is this the time to point out that the reason that, as far as I'm aware from what Matt Dillahunty put out, the reason that he got pissed off with Steve was because Steve kept tweeting at him rather aggressively, and Matt just couldn't be arsed with this nonsense about the definition of atheism.
Matt congratulated Steve for the victory in court. That's a fact.
Kyle.
That's
He's
beyond-
congratulated Kyle He was probably just trying to piss Steve off.
If
That's
it
all it is.
happens, likelihood it's just to piss Steve off. But like,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
That's a fact.
Kian, I thought you blocked me. What are you doing over here? I mean, you can be over here, and I'll let you over here.
You're allowed here, even though you block people.
Yeah. If you have a dissenting opinion, I'll put it up. Like it's one of those things where, wow, like it's just such a big stretch to me. Like it's just so strange. Also, I mean, Kyle, people act like it's not his channel in the first place. Like it, even at worst, it's 50-50, and 50% of it was his. In my opinion, Kyle did the most work, and like it's his baby in comparison. But like it's fascinating to me because like, are you expecting people to just be all gung-ho? It's a 50-50 partnership breakup. Like I don't know. It's you don't have to be squarely on one team or another. Like I have said, Kyle, you've lied. Kyle, you should pay Steve what he's owed. Kyle, you should turn yourself in. These are things that I've actually told Kyle.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't like Steve. That's your problem. You don't like Steve.
I will admit that I did at one point. I was in a voice chat and Kyle turned up in it unexpectedly. And the first thing I said to Kyle was, Kyle, you're a piece of shit. But that was me supporting Kyle fully. Apparently. Baffled me. But I don't think that if you've had any contact with Kyle whatsoever, and you haven't made a 6.5-hour video calling him names, then you support Kyle according to this shower. So, it's they're going to decide that you are supporting Kyle no matter what you do. That's their McNarrative.
I got enough hair for it now. I can stick it all up and just be like, listen, endorse Tim.
I'll figure it out. This really breaks my heart because, okay, Steve, let me just quickly let you know what I know, like what you've been up to.
You don't know fuck all right now. Trust me. No, go ahead.
I want to hear where he's at.
Well, it's deep.
I didn't distance myself. Well, I distanced myself from the whole YouTube thing, except for my channel, purely because I just needed to be more productive with my life, and using my channel as a sort of like hobby means just to be educational, and that's it. But you know that I haven't deliberately avoided anyone. I've been the one that's gone away.
Oh, this is an interesting thing. Watch this part. This part's actually interesting. Okay. So Rob's declaring himself Switzerland. He's just here for the arguments and the discussions and stuff like that. He really wants to talk about God, religion, history, science. Okay?
You're telling me that it's possible for people to have a life away from the nonsense that happens?
And I didn't stalk you the last 2 years. I didn't hunt you down going, Robert, you left us.
No. But I do know, because we're still Facebook friends and all that. Like you become very good friends with RTB. You started that debate platform thing, which is really cool. I subbed to that,
thank you.
And that's it. That's it. And I just left it at that.
Oh, they tried to get involved in that too. They were trying. They were trying to get involved with the RTB, saying you guys don't want to get involved with Steve. And yet I told them everything. And I said this is what's going to happen. As soon as they started doing it, it proved my point. And that's one of the reasons why they were fine with it, because I was telling them the truth, and they literally proved my case for me. I don't have to ever tell anybody. I really
one of them
never have to show proof for anything any longer, because they do it for me.
Steve and I both got retweeted by William Shatner. One of them tried to say that they were in talks with William Shatner to talk about how much of a shit Steve is.
Can you pause it, please?
Yeah, that is such a big misrepresentation.
Who cares? Who's William Shatner? He's an actor.
Number one.
But how it happened is so different.
One thing I want to point out, I was named as one of the people that supposedly contacted Reasons to Believe when Steve was doing his thing, Agree to Argue. I've never contacted Reasons to Believe. Never.
It doesn't
Not once.
matter. It just matters what people think. It doesn't matter the facts. Yeah.
No, I'm just putting it out there because the last time Steve was live, he said he named me as one of the people that had contacted him, and I was like that. Like when I seem to lead a really interesting life that I don't know anything about because it's just absolute garbage. Now, if anybody did contact Reasons to Believe, fine. If they did, it wasn't me. Steve, are you hearing me? Wasn't me.
He just reaches into his little pocket of.
Yeah.
It makes shit up.
So the Shatner
It just makes shit up.
The Shatner thing was actually during the Guardians. Remember?
So it was just before the Guardians.
No, it was during. I'm pretty sure because like she was saying she was trying to. It was Cheshire that tagged Shatner in my memory of like, hey, we're trying to fight the internets and all the peoples on all the trolls, kind of thing to Shatner because Shatner is always fighting people on the internet, and I think XXXiled actually responded to that, like, he might be interested to know what kind of people you're trying to recruit. Do you remember that? Like that was
I did. He retweeted back at me and called me a bitch or something.
Yeah, and like he's like, nice try, trolls, kind of thing, because he's a boomer and he's brilliant. So like it was one of those things where it's like generally I just stay away from like the weird celebrities. They're just in it for themselves whenever they are behind a cause like that. I mean, Mark, whatever his name is, Mark Fellatio. What is his name? Mark Pellegrino? I don't know. I said Fellatio.
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
Yeah. So that Mark guy, who's Jacob from Lost, that guy, was part of the Guardians, and man, they latched onto him something, and then what Chess says next is really funny, being that they're the ones that latched on the Shatner, they're the ones that latched on to Mark, and watch this. This is really funny.
And William Shatner was like, "Fuck
William
off."
Shatner, the actor.
Yes.
If I may,
William Shatner literally said YouTube. William Shatner literally said YouTube. He's like, can you do something? He's talking about Unirock. He's like, can you do something about this person?
People have tried to do to Steve. These gang stalkers have tried to sabotage Steve.
Everything that I did tried to sabotage.
You brought up.
Whenever Steve announces that he's going to go, he's going to start something new with someone, they will go behind the scenes and they will tell this person, if you come on our side and if you like talk shit about Steve with us, we are going to make sure that your channel gets all the coverage and you get.
Wait, what? If you talk shit about.
How none of us have channels? Like it's just like so silly. It's just nuts.
I don't know who would have the manpower, the influence to have that sort of thing.
It's like, yeah.
I'm sorry, but
oh, that's so funny.
Man, yeah, for goodness sake.
It's what they do, but I mean, like that's what Steve promises people. Like, okay, Low Red, you can have like all the monetization over here talking about the coverage of Katie Joy, and like now it's EKC. He's a mover and a shaker. That's what he does. Nobody I know is doing that shit.
I'm so confused.
None of us have channels over like a couple hundred couple hundred views per video. It's funny.
Like I don't know what kind of deals she thinks people are trying to wheel and deal here. Like I don't even this doesn't make any sense, Manya.
Subscribers and shit, and we'll give you the notoriety you're looking for. That's what they do.
Hang on.
So wait a minute. We are supposedly going to offer William Shatner some notoriety.
There's somebody, anybody. I mean, like we're just gonna offer
No, that's not what she said. She said that every time Steve starts something new, so they moved on from Shatner. Every time Steve starts something new, they whoever they is, sabotage it, and then they offer that person like, hey, if you don't do that show with that person and do things with us, we'll promote you. I think that's what she's saying. Like she's saying that like people are trying to woo them over to their platform or something. I don't know. Like it's just
But does Shatner need
Just
any
give
help
me
to be
one
known?
example.
Well,
One
it would.
example of that. I just want one. Like, that's hilarious.
I'm trying to think of one that they might think.
I'll
Keon,
promote you.
Keon, if you come over back to our side, I'll promote you. Like,
You'll
no,
have
fucking,
fame and glory.
no, fucking Keon, please stay there. You remind me of Brett Keane. like just the to and fro kind of reminds me, in and out,
We
hot
have
and cold.
jobs or disabilities and real lives, and this is like a side thing for us.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
everybody I know, like except Unirock. Unirock does this. He's a streamer, right? That's it. I don't know anybody else.
Well, the projection's interesting too. Like this
Nate.
whole idea of like people don't have a life. Well, I'm
Get
sorry,
this,
I'm not on Twitter tweeting every 4 minutes like your leader.
Hundreds of tweets a day. Hundreds.
I leave the house. I don't eat lobster rolls only. I go to restaurants. I hang out with friends. I go to breweries. I play with my dogs. I go hiking. I go to the beach. Like, what do you imagine? I have friends that I've been friends with in the same city for 20 plus years, multiple friends that I hang out with. Like, this idea that, like, some of us like just don't have any life and this is all we do. It's like, okay, well, that's some serious like projection. Except like again, this wizard that you're following seems to be that's the case for him.
Yeah, I am baffled by this.
Yeah, it's baffling, but it's funny. But let's listen to it.
So Keon says he was threatened, and I'm curious to know who threatened him and how.
Yeah, Menace probably said something that wasn't threatening, that he took it to be threatening.
Yeah. So like, because right now Chesh is toting this around that these people, when somebody leaves their fold, their secret dark web cabal that they're gonna attack.
Go give Cheshire some more dirt on us, Keon. Go, really, shoot. Yeah.
Kiss
Nobody
on the
cares
cheek.
to
Do
threaten
what you
you
do.
or
I'm just
hurt
saying-
you in any way. Nobody
I'm
wants to
just
hurt
saying.
you.
I'm just saying in the story,
Ever.
Judas is a patsy to a grand plan in the story. You know, like it's one of those things where
Like, if anybody ever threatened to hurt Keon, I would think they're the most ridiculous person in the world.
oh
you
yeah,
know?
like definitely. Like Keon is just Keon, and I support people having opinions. Have your opinion, absolutely. Are people gonna kick back or laugh at you? Maybe. Review, maybe.
Did I like being called one of his special beings in his server? Like when I was in his server and he gave me special status in there and just like sitting in there until one day he just said, "You all disgust me." And then that caused me to quietly leave his server. No, I didn't like it, but like I don't hold it against him. I just left. Yeah.
So
If I
Keon's
disgust you,
actually
I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stick around.
Keon's shedding some light. No, Steve didn't try to dox me. It was a crazy KJ hater. Okay. So a KJ hater, like I'm sorry, but Steve's the one that's adopted all the KJ haters. Okay. So put that on pause. Now he says menace to sobriety.
Yeah. He
If
he doesn't understand nuance.
Well,
Menace
if-
didn't physically threaten to come hurt you or anything. He was just telling
did he
you to
road
fuck
hog?
off.
Well, I mean, like please explain if
I
you
can't
know the
remember.
clip or whatever. Like, yeah.
I can't remember, but Keon will keep trotting this out like forever. Yeah.
I think I remember that. I don't remember the details of the incident.
Citation
but I remember when
needed
it
for
happened.
what? For what?
And it was the problem was it was a complete miscommunication, and Keon thought it was a threat.
Yeah. Sorry you got scared because you thought you were being threatened. when
It
you
was
weren't.
a genuine miscommunication.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
even I
doesn't
can
matter.
see that.
Well,
Like, it
well,
doesn't
I'm not
matter
going to
'cause
even make that. it does matter. So like if Keon feels that he's been threatened, my thing is like if you are legit threat, make a
report.
screenshot of that.
Yeah.
Send it to your local police department if you can.
And then avoid
and
the person.
And
Yeah.
you might need to block them. And if Menace did, I'm just gonna like try to be as charitable as possible. If that's the case, then do that. If you guys want to show evidence of Menace making a threat, then I'm definitely interested in seeing that. But I've not seen this, so I'm very curious about it. And so let us know. So make a video, show it. I mean, that's what I said to Ilya Moon. Like, if you're getting these horrible things, I think that that's unacceptable. But I have to tell you that some things are being construed as threats that I don't see as threats. Like that dude, I don't remember his name, that said, "I don't want to be within 6 feet of Cheshire." That guy.
Yeah.
That was construed as a threat.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a discussion. Was it, if someone can remember his name, is it Gardner? I can't remember. There was a discussion.
Atheist Edge or something.
Yeah, there was a discussion of going to a event together, and that person said something about like, don't be in X amount of feet of me, and they construed that as a threat, which sounds like a guy that's like, you were on my last nerve, stay away from me. But like that I remember that, and they were like, oh! And I just don't see that myself as a threat. But you do you. Like, and again, like Ilya Moon, Keon here has no receipts, only M2TS doing this on his channel, but also Twitter and going after other McCrazies at the same time. So the other thing is too, you pointed out KJP haters. KJP haters are their own little pool of an existence, and you have to imagine that some of these people that are so bad and so villainous, Steve has like recruited. He's gone out of his way to bring into the mix. Like nobody told Steve to go be a captain of a Team Mom group that hates KJP. Steve did that on his own. So whatever fallout from that group happens, like that has nothing to do with me. I don't talk to those people.
Okay, since Keon is accusing MS2 of doing something, I will read Menace's comment. Keon gets too much attention from it to come clean about what I said means. One of the McGoonies who thinks they're a gangster jumped on Google and turned it into a threat. LOL. Yeah, I could see them doing that.
Okay. How about this?
And we have receipts. We have receipts.
I'll do something that Steve won't do. There's only 3 of us in the group here.
Yeah.
What if I bring you on the channel right now? What if I drop a link? You can join.
Menace can join too.
I'm going to hold off on Menace. I'll maybe give him a chance too. I want Keon to be able to say his word. The rule would be, because if he feels threatened by Menace, I don't think he should be necessarily forced to talk to a threatener, right?
No, Keon is just trolling us. He's a troll. He's
like
trying to get us off the topic of what we're talking about and onto him. But go ahead and bring him on. Yeah.
So Keon, we're gonna pretend like you're serious because who the hell knows? But you're being toted out as this example of people that are like harming and threatening because you flipped opinion. People might laugh at you or have a
I hope he does
reaction
come
to you.
on because I have something to tell him. Yeah.
But yeah, like we're not gonna do what Steve does, where Steve says, "Come in and talk to me and let me stack my panel with my biggest attack dogs." It's just us. It's just 3 of us. In fact, we can make an agreement just to have Exiled talk to you.
Okay.
I'll mute myself. No problem.
We could do this one-on-one conversation and make it fair.
He's declining.
Oh, well, no. He's not declining us. He's saying, I'm not going to talk with the person who's threatened and not on your channel. Okay, well, no requirement to talk to the person that you feel that threatened, but you can say your word if you would like. If you don't, and you refuse the invitation, no problem either. I just wanted to say that I would give you the opportunity where that opportunity seems to be missing in other places. Fair enough? Fair enough. But if you make a call out like that, just know that a response from Menace might happen on Menace's channel. So, you know, that sort of happens. Like if Steve calls me a psychopath, which I'm not, he might get a response saying, no, I'm not in fact a psychopath. Like people respond to things that people say. As long as it's on the internet and you're not taking it into personal life, so you're not actually making threats, fair enough.
I mean,
You know?
at least I wouldn't do, like, when you were hanging out with us, you did get respect, Keon. When you're hanging out with Cheshire, she compares you to Ilya Moon. And I have documented evidence of this on my channel, Lulu the T-Bot. She literally compared you to a woman who stole money by faking cancer, who lied about being raped and lied about a lot of other things too. She compared you to her. And we would never do that to you. I would never compare you to Ilya Moon or any of them. So hang out with who you want. Hang out with who you want, Keon. But, you know.
Yeah, I compared him to Brett just because of the pendulum swing. I'm in skepticism. I'm out of skepticism. I'm in skepticism. I'm out of skepticism. I'm in, you know, like McCrae's group. I'm out of McCrae's group. I'm in and out. The pendulum swing was like the only thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, you know, that's the only similarity.
And I think it's fair, Amaros, what you're saying. It's hard to get the whole picture. But if you have to take a side and then change sides to get the picture, that's actually kind of one approach that some people do. You know, I just actually try to engage with people from the other side, the ones that will engage with me. And then that's how I get that bigger picture. I try to just watch their feed and try to understand what they're saying about the other side or something. But, you know, he doesn't. He makes enemies of the people he used to pretend to be friends with and then goes on to the other side and pretends to be friends with them. That's how it seems to me. It doesn't seem like sincere because, you know, one minute I was one of your favorite people and the next minute I disgusted you. I just don't see how that works. Yeah, it's just bizarre to me. I can't wrap my head around it because I think I'm a normal, empathetic human. Yeah. But maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm missing something. Amaros, you let me know. Yeah, let me know because I'm sure I'm missing something. I don't know Keon as well as you do.
Yeah. So, like again, I'm willing to address folks as human beings. Human beings. Said like Shani. So like, you know, Keon and I have had conversations before, and I have never threatened him. I don't think anybody should ever threaten him. I actually don't think he was threatened, and I think maybe there's some bizarre misunderstanding. But if he had evidence,
it is a misunderstanding.
Yeah, maybe we'd think about it. But moving on, since that was a waste of time, let's just
Chimera.
Yep.
Manya, that line you just gave sounds an awful lot like someone else who wants to claim to be a skeptic.
Sounds awful lot like exactly what happened with Nick Suter.
That was what happened with Nick Suter. But here's the thing, Manya. I've learned to rely on that and use it to my advantage. And they still have not figured that out because every time when I announce something, I've already planned on them trying to say shit about it, and the people have been forewarned, and they go, "Holy fuck, you ain't lying! These people are fucking psycho gang stalkers." I'm like,
so what Steve has said is, I poison the well, and no matter what you say, what evidence you bring up, what screenshots you bring out, what tales you tell, I have already poisoned the well before you can actually bring evidence and show anything. I don't need to show evidence because I have a rapport, a relationship with these people, and they trust me. Sounds like a cult leader. Sorry.
Yeah.
I am shocked that somebody that thinks they're skeptical and a critical thinker thinks this is a good idea.
There was a situation where you brought up Fiona, Robert.
Yeah,
Fiona,
this is the great debate community I used to be with.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Fiona accused Steve of rape apologetics. They then targeted me and Manya and Sweet Heathen, saying that Steve was being inappropriate with us. When we spoke out against them trying to speak for us, they said we weren't real women.
Oh yeah, we are brainwashed. We are unreal women. We are getting.
I can probably speak to this. So, they allow Steve a certain amount of flirtatiousness and ickiness on their stream, like with each other. He, tee he, back and forth. And some of us think it's a little bit gross, but like whatever, if they're consenting to it, it's fine. But people commented on that because just because Chess consents to it, just because Manya consents to it, just because the bad Nikki consents to it and Sweet Heathen consents to it, does not mean somebody like KJP automatically needs assume that she's down with it. And so people made that comparison. It's not because you flirt and allow yourself to be objectified, which you do. It's that it's that you assume, or there's this seemingly culture around there that there seems to be an assumption that other people should allow themselves the same sort of cultural effect, the same sort of assumption. And as soon as somebody says they felt uncomfortable, they were harassed for 2 years about it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Shadow Heathen in here.
Yeah, I am trying to keep it really low here. So I was fishing for a Keon.
Exploited we have got because we've got issues in our life, and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, Merry Christmas, Adam. Thank you very much.
And Robert, here it is, 10 o'clock my time, having a rum and coke, and they're still paying attention, listening intently. They heard a name from that they recognize, and all of a sudden they start popping up. These people are legit fucking gang stalkers.
Wait,
man.
like literally
right now, like literally in the live chat. Now, I have these people blocked, so I have other mods to take care of it for me. But that's what they do. These people will not leave us the fuck alone. This is proof positive that everything it says, we want nothing to do with them, but they fucking will stalk us to the point where they go to any place that we're at. They'll try to contact anybody we have dealings with. And yes, I've used it to my advantage, but that doesn't mean that it's ethically appropriate. These people are psychotic, absolutely fucking nuts.
Well, you have no choice but to use it to your advantage because it's going to happen to you no matter what.
Correct. And I've done so very effectively. Reasons to believe really realize that these people were just insane.
It's not just even reasons to believe. William Shatner interacting with them for 30 seconds was like, this is bullshit. Mark Pellegrino
he recognized it quickly too.
Situation.
William Shatner of all people.
Yes.
Well, Robert, do you know Mark Pellegrino plays Lucifer on Supernatural?
Sorry?
You watched those Supernatural?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think it was on Lost also.
He was on Lost. Yeah,
he was Jacob in Lost.
Nikki,
Supernatural.
do you know Mark Pellegrino or Alien Beauty?
No. I don't think so.
You guys are into ghost stuff, but you don't watch Supernatural? Wow.
No, because it's all to me. It's more like watching you guys.
You should definitely check that show. It's actually
I hope they didn't. I mean, for example, RTB has been very good guests.
Oh, I love them.
Like,
oh yeah.
And I hope they haven't been toxic to them or anything.
No, well, they tried, but they backfired spectacularly because it was like these are
If somebody had a concern to those people that are hosting and platforming you, and they express the concern, I don't know if that's harassment. I think that people can express concerns, and that's fair enough. These are really broad terminologies that he's using. Like,
Christians are like they want to get rid of evil, and these people are evil, so they're like, yeah, this is what we want to fight against and stuff like that. But
you
unfortunately,
showed up here, Rob. Expect them in your DMs soon.
Yes.
They were the one they brought up in the live chat.
Hey, look, this rock is solid enough. So
what they try to do is they do this. They say, hey, Robert.
Okay, so Cheshire, Goblin. I've known Rob for 5 years. We get along just fine. And I've known that he likes Steve. We get along just fine. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
We have a Discord. Come to the Discord. We got stuff we want to show you. And,
God.
And if you don't do it, then you become an enemy, and then they will.
So they actually did that to me. They asked me to come into their Discord, and I was like, no thanks. And as soon as I said no thanks, they started trying to slander me.
You know what I'll do?
Wait, first of all, who wants you in Discord? Definitely not any Discords that I've seen. Anybody?
Well, it's nothing to do with me.
Is anyone fishing for Cheshire? Because Cheshire says no means no. She doesn't want to be in your Discord. So I don't know who's asking her to join Discord, but apparently she's acting like this stream was last night, Unirock. This is rum and coke night, and it's just the weirdest stream. It comes it goes from ghost stories to this triggeredness at the end. It is the weirdest stream I've seen in a long while.
I'll do the typical Aussie attitude. Hey, do you want to come for a surf first, and then we'll chat.
There you go.
They're probably
It's like,
just venting.
they have a very
you know.
they what they try and do is they tell you, oh, I'm gonna judge you because of the company you keep. You're amongst these people. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to isolate you. As soon as you're alone, they'll start bombarding you with shit. And
The company you keep. What have they just been doing all the way through this? With Cheshire and her Gordian knot?
Oh, I'm a monster. I'm part of the dark web. I am part of doing horrible things to Bull and his family. Like, all things that are not true.
We're trying to make sure everybody knows he was murdered.
Here's Manya
insane.
saying. Here's Manya going on about guilt by association.
Oh.
Okay, and that's what they've been doing for about the last hour. Guilt by association. It's just, seriously, absolutely delusional. I keep saying that same word. It's the politest one I can think of at this point.
This is funny in a way. Like, this is really funny. Like, I'm not triggered. I think it's funny.
Oh, I'm not triggered either. It is really quite funny, but it concerns me that Manya is so blind here that she doesn't realise that they have sat and done guilt by association for about an hour with Cheshire and her Gordian knot and all the rest of it, and Matt Dillon and Lacey and all that, and they've done all this, and she's going to do a Patreon about this and guilt by association and all these links, and then Manya just says they do guilt by association. Oh Jesus!
Oh
Get
my
a bit
God.
of self-awareness.
It's so funny though. Like, you can't help but think it's funny. And the funny thing is too, like, okay, so like Rob and I talk theology a lot. I love to talk theology. I actually have a lot of respect for Rob. But you have to understand, like, some people think Rob is kooky and he has some kooky ideas because, he's, he has some interesting tie-ins to things, and Rob defends evolution, and I can, believe in Christianity with evolution. He's always kind. He's always gracious. He's nice to everybody. He treats people with respect. The dude is a good dude, and like what I said to trigger all of this, and I feel really bad for him. Actually, this is the part where I feel guilty. I did not mean for Rob to be wishboned. He's a good dude. If he wants to be Switzerland, let him be Switzerland. He isn't there for social interactions like the stuff. He's literally just there to talk science, religion, and theology and stuff like that. And I recommend people, being good to him in all interactions because he deserves it. He and I have a video on my channel from 5 years ago. So like I've known the dude for a while, and he's on my Facebook. Like not everybody makes it to my Facebook. I've known the dude for a long while. Like he's a good dude. All right. If he wants to be friends with an icky goblin, he can be. I'm not going to do anything. Like it's fine. Like whatever, like it's no requirement to hold my grievances, just so we're clear. Okay? But there seems to be a requirement now placed on him to hold your grievances. And if he wants to hear the story, he can hear the story, but I'm not force feeding down the story of like why people have grievances about Steve. If he wants to know, he can know. Like whatever. But this goblin, man, okay, I see you.
And if you
love
if you
bomb you
comprehend
first.
it and you say no, this is shit, then they start slandering you and they try to dismiss you, like they try to dismiss me and Shesh by saying we are not women. Our experiences with Steve don't matter, and and all that.
So calling someone a gender traitor isn't necessarily calling them a woman or not a woman. A gender traitor is actually from The Handmaid's Tale. And I'm going to explain it to the people in the back or the people that can't read or the people that can't understand context and just say that in the book, Gilead is the oppressive religious country that is oppressing women in particular, and also any minority group, particularly for anything like women reading, get their finger cut off, or if you are gay, you're considered a gender traitor, and they hang you or string you up on the wall, and they call you that. And then later in the series, I'll just go with the series if you've watched on Hulu, there's a confrontation between the wives of the captain that are involved with the handmaidens. So the wives can't bear children, and the handmaidens have to bear their children for them, and you can imagine how monstrous that is. And so one of the lesbians who survived and wasn't killed because she was fertile and whatever, she says to the wife, I've done a lot of things in my life that are, not so great, but you are the gender traitor. And she points to the wife. Now, let me spell this out. The wife's not a woman. It's that the wife has learned to play the game in misogyny in an extreme patriarchal society. And she is abused in the patriarchal society to some degree, but she's learned to play the game. And I would argue, and this is my political belief, and it's polarizing to some, I'm sure, but there are people in politics and anchor men on certain news networks, or anchor women, sorry, on certain news networks that play that same game where a patriarchy has benefited them. They know how to play the game and they work it to their advantage, and they become part of an abuse cycle. It doesn't take a lot to kind of figure out what the term gender traitor means in the context of Cheshire. We're not saying you're not a woman. We're saying that you're very willing to play the game. Does that spell that out a little bit better? Did I explain it? I felt like I explained it before, but we'll explain it again.
They try and dismiss my education. They try and dismiss that too.
Well, they're super racist towards you also. But one of the women said that somebody couldn't be a victim of sex.
There was somebody that made a racist comment to her, I think, and called her Punjabi princess or something, and then decided that not do that anymore.
One person.
Yeah. One person.
They were called out for it.
And I do, in all transparency, I have pointed out Manya being sloshed on stream and making a fool out of herself. Now I can explain that too. One, if somebody makes a fool out of herself on stream and they're sloshed on stream all the time, maybe you should point it out that they're making a fool out of themselves and they're losing, face there. Two, her friends didn't seem to be doing anything about it. In fact, they seem to be encouraging it. So yeah, if she's getting better and she's getting, the behavior's changing, yeah, leave her alone then. Stop making the jokes. If she's getting better and improving, leave her alone. Fair enough.
Sexual assaults because their skin tone was too light.
Correct.
Hang on a
Let me put
minute.
it this way. If I have blocked you, and you've tried to be in my live chat,
Sparkle, just take that wee bit back, what Cheshire was saying, please.
Yeah, she slid in something that sounded really bad. 1 second.
And if you comprehend it and you say no, this is shit, then they start slandering you and they try to dismiss you, like they try to dismiss me and Chesh by saying we are not women. Our experiences with Steve don't matter, and and all that. They try and dismiss my education. They try and dismiss that too.
Well, they're super racist towards you also. But one of them said that somebody couldn't be a victim of sexual assaults because their skin tone was too light.
Correct. Let me put it this way: if I have blocked you,
Oh, wait. What? That is never what was said.
That's got to be with
Never.
Sweet Heathen, right? The Sweet Heathen
Yeah.
incident.
That was never said.
Citation very much needed because that sounds horrible on its face.
For that conversation, and that was absolutely nowhere near that.
So instead of like just saying
lying again.
Well, I know, but instead of saying trust me, tell people where they can fish out that conversation.
I don't know where they could fish out that conversation, because it was. Now let me think.
Was that when it was a random guy that we don't hang out with? Like, was that when somebody said something horrible about like Nate being less attractive? No, that's not it. Is it?
No, I think it was. This shower all started going on about a person being mixed race, and somebody pointed out, I think they were trying to say you're doing this because she's mixed race, blah blah blah, and somebody said, hang on a minute, I had no idea she was mixed race. That was it.
Oh, that's right. I didn't.
That was it.
I didn't know that either. I mean, the more you know, right? Like, just don't assume. But like, I didn't like look at her and go, "Oh, you're mixed race." Like, I didn't know. Like, that was,
But nobody said
doesn't matter
somebody
though.
can't be a victim because they're not white enough. Nobody ever said that.
I think if anything, like I bet it has to do with something about like how people are treated on the face of like when they know that you're of a minority off the bat, and you don't stand out, you can be treated differently. So I have some friends, I live in Southern California. I have friends that are Hispanic, and those friends report situations where they're treated differently if they look more Spaniard than more like native, in Mexico. So basically, the whiter skinned you are, they found that they were treated differently by people that have prejudice, and they point out those differences, and that's just in Hispanic culture. We also hear stories like that in Black culture as well, in those experiences. But nobody's saying that you can't be a victim of something because your skin color is a certain way. Like, I don't know why she's getting that.
It's because she wants to paint people as racist, and because she doesn't mind lying about what she claims people have said. That's what it is. She will just lie.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. All right, moving on.
I need to be in my live chat. The issue is with you. You need help. Go get help. Seriously, go get fucking help. Holy spackle, you need fucking psychological help. You've been stalking me and my friends for how long? Nobody fucking wants you around. You're an agent provocateur. Go get fucking help. I don't.
Ooh,
Okay.
An agent provocateur. That sounds cool.
What is it? What does an agent provocateur mean?
I don't know, but it sounds good. Let me look it up.
Secret agent man. Okay, so all right. So Steve, do you suppose that if you say things about people and then block them that are completely slanderous and vicious, that they shouldn't respond? Do you not respond?
Yes, that's what you believe.
Okay. So does that include people like, I don't know, Hovens, people like Katie Joy, people like, I'm trying to think all these random people that you could or may not respond to, like Jimmy Snow. Could Jimmy Snow then turn around and say, "Leave me alone," because you responded? Just what is going on? How is watching a stream and making one comment about somebody that I'm friendly with saying, "It's good to see you," it'd be nice, to hang out with you or something when you have like, better company. And that's all I said, right? I didn't say, then this is the list of problems I have.
I'll be the
was
femme fatale. You can be the agent provocateur.
that little bit of commentary was enough for him to go psychotic. Okay.
Yeah.
And I use that term very loosely and badly. Sorry.
I don't understand why that's that difficult to stay the fuck away from us. We don't want anything to do with you. We're not coming around your shit. We don't want to talk to you. We don't want to talk to your friends. Stay the
If it's
fuck
not that-
away.
Oh my God, you left one comment. Jesus.
He doesn't want to talk to you, but he wants to get about you without any
Oh my
pushback.
God.
Yeah. How dare I?
Okay, don't
One
ever
of
do it
the
again.
one of the
God.
things said
You don't want
that
him to
somebody
blow a
couldn't be a
fuse.
victim of sexual assault because their skin tone was too light.
Correct. Let me put it this way. If I have blocked you and you've tried to be in my live chat, the issue is with you. You need help. Go get help. Seriously, go get fucking help. Holy spackle, you need fucking psychological help.
I wasn't blocked. If I was blocked, I wouldn't have been able to comment.
How dare you not be a narcissistic, prestige-chasing noob like McCrae? Seriously.
Been stalking me and my friends for how long? Nobody fucking wants your
I'm not stalking you. I don't stalk you. Okay.
wrong around. You're an agent provocateur. Go get fucking help. I don't.
So I have gotten help, but not for that. Like I first of all, I'm not a stalker. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not part of the dark web. I don't want people to kill themselves, all that stuff. But unlike you, Steve, I do struggle with some really pretty normal things, like 1 in 5 Americans have mental illness. 1 in 5, Steve. 1 in 5. And you always use mental illness as this pejorative, like it's like, it's a character flaw. And so I just want to point out that I have depression, I have anxiety, I've experienced trauma, okay, but that's so common. That is so common. That is not unusual. In fact, I talk about it because people need to know that they're not alone and it's okay to get help. So unlike you, Steve, I don't actually act like it's an assault on my character if somebody says, I suggest that you're depressive. But I know that when somebody said, hey, how come you're a hobo that lives in a closet and you don't try to do anything? You took it as like this huge, like hysterical offense. I happen to know that, like as if it was maligning your character in some way. But look, buddy, thanks for the concern. I do my work. Why don't you do yours?
Don't understand why that's that difficult to stay the fuck away from us. We don't want anything to do with you. We're not coming around your shit. We don't want to talk to you. We don't want to talk to your friends. Stay the fuck away. I don't know what else to say it.
Because that's his bread and butter. That's his notoriety on YouTube.
They can watch all they want. They can say what they want about, but stay the fuck away from me.
There's
If
also
that's not clear, I don't know what is.
I don't know what if let's put it this way, and I'm being dead serious. If I was a female and some guy came around all the fucking time trying to contact me after I told them to stay the fuck away, it would be harassment and people would call it out. Yet
I can't tell you how much
he's
that
losing his shit. Holy God.
The out of everything he said, I
Well
find
done.
that the most offensive. So if I was a woman and you were a guy, people take this really seriously. And he does this Me Too sort of like, I am being attacked and I'm a damsel in distress thing and I'm a victim. And it's because I watched his YouTube channel, made one comment in his stream there, and I comment about his bullshit and I see his lies and go, that didn't happen, that didn't happen, that didn't happen. Like that is enough. Criticizing Steve is enough to be a quote unquote gang stalker, somebody that is like this horrible person that's part of the dark web. If anything, dang, Steve,
calm down so you don't have a heart attack. We really don't want to see anything bad happen to you.
I'm concerned for you. Take a breath, take a break for a minute. Oh my God. The
Do you
thing
know what
is,
this reminds me of?
Yeah, what's up?
Do you remember the meltdown he had? You remember the meltdown he had when Cheshire read out a tweet that Bill Ludlow had made?
Yes.
And Steve absolutely lost his shit.
Yeah, he does it all the time. This is classic.
This is
McCrae
exactly
right
the same.
here. Yeah. Steve desperately wants to be interesting enough for people to want to stalk. We're just laughing. We're just laughing.
That is so bizarre. Like, well, and it's the way that after with the word and stuff and other stuff, like the way that he throws this like ridiculousness is it's just disgusting to me. I don't know.
I'm Steve, and nobody says fuck all. It's also you guys. No, I'm talking about you guys.
And Steve, you don't deserve anything.
It's bullshit.
Well, they also do it to me and Manya, right?
I remember Holy Spackle. I'm.
Holy Spackle's the one that
I haven't spoken to Spackle in a while, but I've
Spackle called me a gender traitor, whatever the fuck that means.
You are a gender traitor. You defended a convicted rapist for 2 years. That's a gender traitor.
I stand by that. It doesn't mean you're not a woman. It just means that you're a sellout to patriarchy and some bad shit.
Yeah. I mean, she's fucking nuts, dude. If you want to hang out with her, be my guest. I don't give a shit who the hell hangs out with who. Just keep her the fuck away from me and my friends. She's psychotic.
Well, and Steve, how many accounts of Spackles have you blocked?
Too goddamn many. And again, if
he keeps thinking that like I have all these accounts just like Agrippa. Like everybody is either Agrippa or Spackle. Everybody. It's crazy.
Well, if a guy was doing this to a woman, there'd be
Steve. Who was the last one who accused you of being? Was it when JD Kane tweeted something?
Yeah, JD Kane tweeted something, and JD Kane was considered what my sock or just Agrippa's. He was somebody's sock. He's a real person.
I think it was your sock.
Well, they called me Gnar Warrior at one point, and plus they said I have 20 sock accounts. That's crazy.
Gnar Warrior is a long-standing person that's been around like great debate nonsense for a while, and just isn't a talking head. Gnar Warrior is Gnar Warrior. Definitely.
I mean, it's not a conspiracy. We aren't, on malicious sock accounts that are, I'm sure a lot of people do have sock accounts, but so do you guys. So don't try to fool us. I don't know why.
I don't use sock accounts. I don't have sock accounts. I'm me.
Holly Spatula is mine. That one's mine. HOOLY Spatula. That one with the bull video. That one's my sock account.
You don't get to know everybody's sock accounts. Sorry, Steve. This is the internet.
But he's acting like there's like an army of sock accounts that I have that I'm just like.
And there's not.
Da, da, da. Like here you are again. Like
don't tell me he's making shit up again.
I just don't use them on Twitter.
That's so funny.
By now. Steve, there are men that are doing this to women in this group. They do it to me and Manya.
Well, that's true, but since you're part of this group, they don't care, right?
We don't count because we're not real women.
We're not women, there'll be a problem with this.
Exactly.
This really breaks my heart.
So can everybody make it very clear to these people right here and right now? Tell them to stay the fuck away. If you see them around, block them on site. I'm done with it. Block them from my live chats on site with.
So here's the thing: is like this call to block, this call to ostracize, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Like that is something like block them on site, bubble up. This is my narrative, bubble up. And then you say, why do they want to talk about it? Like why is this like rocket scientist for this guy? Like
they do anyways. They're done. Don't contact me. Don't contact people I know. Stay the fuck away from them because I want to show them this video and made it very clear that at this point you are beyond gay stalking. I don't know what the fuck next is, but there are actions being taken.
I've got a clip for you, Steve, that you can.
There are actions being taken because I said to my friend, like, hey, nice company you keep. Too bad it's not with better company, like kind of thing. And that one comment triggered all this, and there's actions being taken, just so you know.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Like, we're not supposed to respond to all of that. Like, I'm a psycho. I'm part of this dark web.
Funny, because of all of the stuff that he does by attacking people constantly on his channels, on his Twitter, he's not going to get any action taken on the criticism and the pushback that he's getting. I'm sorry. It's gonna. You can try, Steve. Good luck.
I mean, if he takes
Push
action
back
against
is not
me,
stalking.
sure. Feel free to download any of my videos then, guys. In case he tries to false flag me. Because at this point, I think he might be a false flagger at this point. Like this is crazy. This is just bizarre.
Use, and it's Holy Spackle explaining like very poorly what harassment is to Exiled, and she says, if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, you," and they say, "Hey, no, I'm not interested, go away," and they say, "Hey, you," anyway, they're harassing you.
So I was talking about sexual harassment. So if somebody says, Exile, do I have permission to pretend that I'm sexually harassing you?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. Exile, I really like your tits in that shirt. You should wear that more often on stream.
I only have one.
Exile.
Exiled, honestly. Oh.
But anyway, go ahead.
I am such an asshole.
It's okay. Yeah.
That was the worst thing to I'm such an asshole. Oh my
No,
god.
you're not. I don't mind. It's all good. It's all good. I always say that. It's okay. It's true.
Sorry, I'm just crying. I'm crying. You stopped me. I'm not even doing a good job of being a creeper.
I'm alive. I'm happy.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too.
So,
You should
all
be
right.
amorous in this instance, but not me. But go on.
Hey. Okay. So I like your butt in those jeans.
Yes. Yeah, I do too.
You have both cheeks, right?
Yep. I do. I do.
Because if you say I only have one, I don't know what to say. Then I have to go read Candide or something. I don't know what's happening.
Hey, baby, I heard you're a real witch. Want to ride my broomstick? Something like that, right?
God, I'm really bad at this. Okay. I think you should do more twerking on stream.
Job is Exile. You said that to not me. I've got a bad hip.
Now, hold on. If this is upsetting anybody in the audience, I'm serious. This can be what we're doing right now can be considered sexual harassment and, making people uncomfortable or something. It's not a crime. If anybody in the audience asks us to stop, we will stop. And yeah,
okay,
that's just the way it has to be.
So let's say two scenarios. Let's say Exiled's cool with it and goes, "Hey, I like your butt too, and I'd like to touch it." So let's say like I can't get through this. Yeah.
We can't even come up with good examples. This is how creative we are. I'm serious.
Okay, let's pretend like two scenarios. One is ew. Please don't ever say that again.
Girl. Okay.
So that's one. Yeah. Or one's ooh la la. Let me. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of uncomfortable, guys. Like, I'm a little sensitive.
So if
about
she
that type
says,
of discussion,
in the terms of sexual harassment, like, and this is actual sexual harassment, that she's not uncomfortable. I have choices. I can be like, dude, I'm so sorry I made you uncomfortable. Let's drop it. That's cool. Like, and kind of learn from the experience.
Okay.
I could make a big deal and say I would never do that. How dare you impeach my honorable astronomical ethics? And start tweeting about it and raging for the next 2 years. There's all sorts of choices I can make along the way of a response, right? And some are better than most. Now let's pretend like if she was into it. So just because Exiled's into it, says, "Hey, yeah, touch my butt, and I'd like to touch your butt, whatever." Imagine if I then said, "Well, hey, out of the blue, hey, Fiona, nice butt you have there." And let's say Fiona goes,
no.
No, thank you.
No, guys. No.
No, guys, I'm not into it. And then
In
what if
fact, yeah.
what if I assumed that because like it's okay with Exiled and it's okay with Amarose and it's okay with I'm just gonna throw a rando name out
Shadow
here.
Heathen.
Shadow Heathen, like they're all like, yeah, this is it's okay with them. I'm like I'm a cool person. Everybody knows like this is fine, and I have this rapport with them. Does it still make it okay for somebody to say no, I'm not into that? Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's part of like
You get to
consent.
say.
Yeah, for sure.
You actually get to say how it made you feel and if it made you feel uncomfortable. There are all kinds of people on the internet, guys, and not all of them are going to be cool with it. Not all people understand this type of banter or some types of sarcasm and nuance in language and that sort of thing. There's all types of people with all kinds of different, like they're neuroatypical folks or something, right? And if they say stop, you need to stop. When Hillary told Steve, Hillary Pugh, who's on the screen right now, told Steve to stop, he didn't. He doubled and tripled down. I saw that whole chat log.
Yeah, I watched that go down as well.
Steve, I would say Steve sexually harassed Hillary Pugh. And and Katie Joy gets to say the same thing. She gets to say if she was uncomfortable. And that's the thing that Sarah Michelle did point out. She pointed out that Steve was going to let it go. Yeah. He was going to let it go because Katie said, "No, Steve, I don't want to talk about it in public anymore. It's not a big deal." Right. But anyway, he's the one that made it into a big deal. He is.
Yeah.
Right.
He was provoked into doing
he made
that.
a big deal. He made a big deal of it when Hillary asked him to stop it in a live chat, side in text. He made a huge big deal of it that day, and he's made a huge big deal of it with Katie Joy as well.
Yeah, and these are opinions. These are,
also, I mean, he just says, I'll say what I want.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle actually did a really good job about that subject for sure.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So now, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm open to conversations about this, but I am disgusted at the comparison of me watching Steve and commenting and pushing back on bullshit lies. He's publicly on stream. He's commenting. I am not like sexually harassing him, obviously. And he feels that I am harassing him just by making one single comment, and or saying, "Hey, this is a thing," when he tells a lie or he misconstrues the truth, or I provide like a critique or pushback. I find that disgusting and appalling that you consider that harassment. But if somebody thinks that's is harassment, let me know. We can have a conversation about it.
It's not like she accused him of a crime. He's the one that said, "She accused me of a crime." And she did not mean to accuse him of a crime. And she didn't accuse him of a crime.
Who's she in this
Katie.
case? Katie. Okay.
I don't know if Hillary did or not. That I don't remember.
Hillary made but Hillary's just made a comment in the live chat. Well, a couple of comments that Steve had told her to take it to DM, and she did. And he then blasted out all the DMs.
Oh, wow.
Except his own. He only blasted out her
Hers.
DMs to him. He didn't show his DMs to her.
Being
and
a
then
pig. Yeah.
And then he announced that he was going to have a hangout. And then announced a hangout so all his pals could rake me over the coals for being an SJW.
Yeah, that's called using your channel
And
as a weapon.
Hillary asked,
this
is all because Hillary asked him to stop it in my chat.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Yeah.
And that was a very divided community reaction at the time. I remember people chewing on me because I was too sided with Hillary at that point. I said, like, this this is bad behavior. This is why.
Yeah.
And because I was taking a more SJW stance. I was actually being his-spooed for SJW. That's why I remember that.
They made Steve into like the monster that he did. Those people who were defending him.
Yeah.
They did. They helped make him.
I have to say that, like, at the time, like, people wanted to believe in the best of people, like, still, right? Like, there wasn't like a very declared pattern at the time that was really
We
early
should have
on.
believed the best in Hillary instead.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020 and these
Yeah.
things. And Hillary, I am so sorry that
me too.
you got dogpiled on, and I don't think many of us did enough to do anything about it. And I remember the incident, and wow, yeah, it was a G+ threat of doom, and we could have done much better. Like, even some of us that tried to play Band-Aids over here, like, you know, I was like really into trying to keep some sort of glue and cohesiveness to community, and I could have done much better in my responses, looking back, you know.
Yeah,
But
Ethan's comment.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And what the hell?
By 1,000-fold. Holy spackle, get the fuck help, man. Just be done. Move the fuck on with your life. Jesus Christ, it's been 4 or 5 fucking years. Move the fuck on. You've been wrong all this time about me. I haven't done fuck all to you, to anybody else, to your friends. Stay the fuck away.
Yes, you have.
What?
You have.
What? He's done nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's done nothing. He's done fuck all.
I've got the evidence on my channel, Steve. I've got the evidence on my channel, dude. So does Ethan. So don't give us this crap that you haven't moved. You've already moved on and she hasn't. No, as long as you keep lashing out at people, we're going to keep replying like we are tonight.
We will push back on your lies.
We will push back.
I don't think he understands too. Like, I mean, part of my pushback with Steve is like, this is not true. This is true. This is not true. I mean, an example is when Jade died, she fucking hated all of you. That tweet. Remember that glorious tweet that he made? Oh my God, that was horrible.
Oh, which reminds me, if you want to screen share it, I did notice that somebody in comments under one of XL's video is asking for proof that he ever said anything like that. They don't believe it.
Do we have the screenshot of that? I am really bad at having things.
Yeah, I think the person pushing back on that is Tom.
Oh, I don't care about Tom's request. Like, do we have the other thing prepared?
I can get
what?
Tom asking for evidence is like, you know, that's not even worth sharing.
Tom what? There was a Tom asking me for evidence in my comments.
Yeah,
is he here today?
Tom tries to play Switzerland a lot. I don't think he hates us, but he likes Steve a lot. And then when he hears these things, he wants to figure out like what's happening. I actually think Tom is sort of like a clueless person that gets into the hockey rink a lot and gets ran over.
What does he want evidence of?
Fiona.
Hold on. Let me see.
We have it at our fingertips if you need.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it into, because this worked the last time. So I think I gave it to you before.
Rock's in our channel. He's like, if you want evidence, they got it.
Let's see. Where's Sparkle?
Are you sending it?
Sparkle. I'm
Discord?
sending it to you. Yeah, DM and Discord to you. Well, you know the one that's just you and me in it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Right, let me see.
How do you work this technology?
Yeah. Can you imagine me in the dark web?
we're on the dark web here, guys. We're professional.
Could you imagine me? It's taking me that long.
New icon.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I'll show the proof in a second. I'm going to read it because for some reason it gets so small I can't read and I'm blind.
I didn't even see Tom's question. But
his question's irrelevant. He says, show me the proof about Steve ever saying that thing about Jade. Okay. All right, Tom, this is for you. For Tom.
See, other people have screenshots too, not
So-
just me.
So Tom, the reason why I'm taking the time to tell you this is because we've hung out before. I've known you for at least 5 years, and we used to hang out in Nadia's. So here you go, Tom. This is for you. Steve says, and I quote, and I will show you in a moment, absolute jack shit about what's reality. This is Steve. Absolute jack shit about what's reality. You can kindly fuck off royally. I have countless IMs from Jade telling me what she thought of that crowd. She was only neutral, quotation marks, to gather information for me, as she thought the TST crowd was utterly full of shit. And there's a lot of ellipses, by the way. But I will be damned if you think I used her death as a tool for TST, or as a tool as TST is done. You really don't want to know what she honestly thought of that crowd, but she always stood by me 100%, you fucking asshole. And she was, in caps, my goddamn friend. And she was the one who told me to get rid of all of them because they were all toxic. You utter idiot. Jade was who told me none of them could be trusted. And for a group of skeptics, they were the most non-skeptical people she ever met. Her words, don't believe me.
I think he actually used the word mole at one point.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. This is only
Brian
this is only
has the
part of the
screenshots.
message.
Brian has the screenshots.
Of the
And
mole?
then, and then what he did was he said that she could never tell us. This was the other thing. And we were like, oh, why wouldn't she have let us know? She hated us. She could never tell us what she really thought of us because we would kick her out of the group. And that group was Cogito at the time. Yeah. Which couldn't have possibly have been true because she owned the group and she couldn't be kicked out of the group. She's like one of two people who could not be kicked.
Yeah, he doesn't even know that she owned the Skype group.
Right.
That was hers.
Yeah.
Brian is the one who let him know that. And then he immediately blocked Brian, who's my husband. So there's your evidence, Tom. I'm not making it up. It happened. I remember how it felt like a punch in my solar plexus at the time. That's where it hurt. Because it was such a mind fuck that someone would say such a thing about someone after they had died. You know, like even if it's true and she was a mole, why was he betraying her confidence, right? And doing this to her after the fact, right? But it wasn't true. I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I think,
No,
you know,
it wasn't true.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't think it's true is because we were always constantly discussing, and she would discuss to me about how to fix things.
Yeah.
She really desperately wanted to fix things. You remember I was a mod for Steve a long time.
Yep.
And at the time I was really focused on trying to glue a community of cats together. And Steve wasn't central in my mind. It was literally just trying to glue a community of cats together. I wanted theists to talk to non-theists. I wanted skeptics to talk to non-skeptical people. I wanted people to have discussions and friendships at the time. And so I was hell-bent on actually keeping the glue together. Jade, on the other hand, who is probably more so driven that way than me.
She just loved talking about science.
She cared about people.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, Steve. Jade could love you, and I believe she did. And she can love Reds, and she can love Bull and anybody, and still simultaneously love me and Fiona and Exiled. Still simultaneously. It's possible. It's not an either or.
She was at my wedding. She was the one person who got through to me in immigration detention. Nobody else
I
could.
remember you telling us about that.
Yeah. She saved my butt that night just by getting through to me because I was losing my mind.
Even I didn't get through.
Brian couldn't even get through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she found a way. She found a way, and she was always trying to help people. Yeah.
True. That was posted in a thread on G Plus that had been started by Red's Rhetoric. And Steve turned the thread into such a toxic mess that Reds had to ask him to stop, and then he just deleted the thread.
So they're full screenshots. I mean, where is he? I don't see Tom in
He's
the
not
chat.
here. It was under Fiona's video.
Under your video.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
If you see a Tom, let him know that he's been addressed. And if he asks about it again, it is addressed.
Okay.
So this has been this with Steve's been going on for a long, long time, and he's still at it, but he wants to be left alone.
Well, it's
The
just
answer's in
weird.
his own hands.
Well, it's just weird. Like, I mean, like there's other interests and stuff like that for sure. But like it's just weird to assume that you're not allowed to push back. It's like I have spoken, you know, like okay, well, we all have platforms here. You said this horrible stuff about me. I'm not allowed to say anything. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
He just blocked people. He's not a nice person. He's just awful.
It's bizarre. Anyway, I think I'm almost done with this video. I'm gonna just do like a little bit more, and then like we'll do we could do like an after show. Make it easier so that way this is already long, and then that way it'll split it up. I think that might be a better idea. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, I have too many shares. Here we go.
I cannot make it any clearer. I can't. I just
Fly
can't.
away, butterfly, fly away.
How else are they going to feel morally superior and self-righteous?
Well, see, the thing is, they know they can't get to me
Or have any content
when they go after people that I care about, and that's what Spackle does. She goes after and targets people that I know because that's how she knows what gets to me, and she knows she does
horrible.
I like how he says this when he's gone after every single person who befriended Kyle. Every single person. That's cruel what he did. Yeah.
What he did to KC, what he did to GE, what he's done to anybody that's said, Kyle, you ought to get a lawyer.
Yeah. So he's a projectionist. Yeah. And he can rant and rave all he wants about it, but he does the same thing, but worse. Yeah. But worse because
Way worse.
we don't have the platform that you do, Mr. Big numbers.
It doesn't even matter. Like that too. Like the things that he says. Like one stream he says that we're guilty of hyperbolic crimes.
Who steals the name of the GDC and then tries to trademark it? You're a slime bag. You're slime bag, Steve. I hope you hear that.
Gang stalking. Look it up under Rational Wiki. Look up the term targeted individual and gang stalking on Rational Wiki and have yourself a laugh. It's stupid.
I wrote up a thing. I'll send it to Robert.
I haven't talked to the woman in fucking how many years?
But I did a bit of a write-up sort of explaining and showing a little bit of the connection between all these people. It's on my Patreon. It'll be available for members on video, but Robert, I'll send you a copy of it if you want.
Okay.
So
And by the way,
it's got links in it. It's got like
I want Unirock to
screenshots.
take that clip of me being angry and show every one of his fucking followers what it's like when I actually do get upset. And anyone who doesn't understand that, they stay on that side of the fence. They could be Unirock's fucking stance forever. Because nobody wants to deal with those people.
We'll just show the
But if
clip
any of them
again
do, though,
of you
clearly
going
Holden
off on
Spackle
Bill
will call
Ludlow.
them out for the harassment.
We'll just show the clip of you going after Bill Ludlow, where all of you little fuckers were tormenting him, telling him to step up to the plate. That was Red's rhetoric. Maybe he'll step up to the plate and go on whatever show. What did he? Who was he? Like the Drunken Peasants or some shit? Like little
Some
shits
show that you shouldn't
who
go
don't
on.
know their place, who don't know how to respect their betters. That's what that was, and it was horrible. all of you, none of you had anywhere near any integrity like Bill Ludlow did, and you were working him over like he was a troll and calling him a troll just because he set a boundary with you. Yeah. Okay, we saw that. Yeah.
That she described as harassment, right?
Yeah, that'll happen.
Right.
And it's the funniest part is I'm not even angry for myself. I'm angry for the fact that these people have harmed people that I care about, and they don't give a shit. That is how just unempathetic they are. They harm people that I love. They think it's just.
I have a lot of empathy, actually,
and people who I love. You harmed people who I love. Fuckface.
Like that's the thing is I have a lot of empathy. I don't think he understands that I'm pretty empathetic. Like maybe Steve, have you ever noticed that I might be driven by not my slights, but more for the slights of others and the harm that you've done to others? I mean, back at you, Steve. And also, what harm have I done in real life? I am a big fan of saying, have the argument online, leave real life alone. Like, leave people's stuff alone. Leave them alone. So like anything that you like put out, like a video or whatever, like people comment on, Twitter, but like leave people alone. Like, yeah, in real life, I am a big fan of that. Like, trust me, I definitely don't want to have lobster rolls with you. You're good, man. You're good.
Maybe
It's fine because they're like Landon pointed out. They have a, what do you call it? It was a moral.
It's a noble lie.
A noble lie. Yeah, they have.
So what he's doing is referring to the noble lie, which is what Landon called people like Kent Hovind's group doing the noble lie, and he just compared us to Kent Hovind's lackeys just now.
I have a comment from Shadow Heathens, who knew Jade just as well, if not better, than most of us. Yeah. Jade would set people straight so they knew the truth and wouldn't repeat Steve's lies. And the dumbass never figured it out. That's what she did. You're welcome.
They have this noble thing that they think they're doing when all they're doing is harassing people and causing harm, and they don't care.
And it's like bandwagon, right?
Yeah, she's sick. She's mentally unwell, and she needs to fucking get help.
It's easy for people to go after Steve. Steve's an easy target. He's not like I've seen Jimmy. Jimmy has treated lots of people the way that he's being exposed for treating people now. One of the first major public ones was Steve. He tried to accuse Steve of transphobia and tried to take advantage of Steve admitting that he had a weakness when it came to getting people's genders correct if they wanted people to use they and them because he struggled with it grammatically. So Steve admitted he had this fault. He was asking for charity and people understanding that, hey, listen, I struggle with this. It's going to take me a little while to fix my typing, so please forgive me. And Jimmy tried to call him transphobic over it. That was before the Non Sequitur Show blow up.
Yes.
The Non Sequitur Show blow up happens, and Jimmy assures Steve that Kyle has the money and that Steve will get paid. That doesn't happen, and he starts just blocking anybody who asks him about it. He says, sorry.
I was just going to say that, I mean, the whole gender pronoun thing, to me, in my opinion, and Australians see this as well, it's petty. So that...
See, people, I'm just going to put it out there. If people want to engage with anybody, they absolutely can. You have every right to. All I ask is, if I see it and I let you know, hey, look, you're engaged with this person. I don't want it in my timeline. If I unfollow you or block you, it is nothing personal. I'm not saying at all. I know it's going to be spun. Well, Steve's saying they're going to block you if you don't want to follow people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want it around me. You can engage with them all you want, but that just means I'm probably not going to follow you any longer because I don't want to deal with it. And you could, again, that's not a threat. That is a safety thing for me because you see how angry I get. And this is legit anger. This is not me feigning this shit. I detest these fucking people. They're loathsome. They have no ethics. They have no honor. They're disgusting. And they have actually gone out of the way to hurt me and people that I care about. And as you said, they contact people. So you know that they're doing it. This is nothing. I don't have to prove this. They go out of the way to do this. So,
you need to be stopped from your harassment of people. That's it. Just stop harassing people. Just stop hurting people, stop doxing, and you'll be fine. Just talk about what you want to talk about, but don't talk about people the way that you have been. Don't smear people, and you'll be fine. Then people will probably stop criticizing you. But then again, the way you boom out on a regular basis and don't seem to understand how to control yourself, it's a character flaw that people find fascinating when you have no self-control. Yeah.
Some of them are not stopping. They're like, some of them are still up till today. They are misrepresenting documents.
I don't know a single.
They're representing.
Just block them all and be done with them, and never engage with them again. That's it.
And the only reason they're doing it, because I don't know if that's the only reason. It's because, you know, for some people, offense is the best defense. Now, and who I'm talking about is at this point is a particular creator who claims they are a qualified lawyer or something. But
Nate,
on principle, every day they go after Steve, and they try and misrepresent all the court documents that are out there about Steve. On principle, they do that. Why? Because they know they messed up with the non-sequitur case in the past, and Steve called them out on it.
Okay, brilliant,
No.
Manya.
Moron.
Wow. Okay, so that's about Nate. Anyone want to tackle why Nate does what he does sometimes, occasionally on Twitter?
Because
not
he knows
every day.
He shows facts and evidence. That's it. He shows facts and evidence, and he has his opinion. He did coverage of the non sequitur show the entire time practically, and they don't like that. That's all. He just did coverage of it.
How do you misrepresent court documents when you're actually showing the screenshot of the entire document? How do you do
Manya
that?
is completely out of her league right now against Nate. She is completely out of her league.
It blows my mind.
Facts and evidence
they have
don't
admitted
lie.
in the past, in private emails with Steve, that people want me to fight you to the death. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They want it to be a gladiator match between us because, one, it brings him notoriety, and then he does it on Twitter. He doesn't do it on his channel. He does it on his Twitter, just like Katie Joy does it. They don't bring it on.
It's all just a game for them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so funny.
Manya misrepresenting that completely. Nate had said in a private message, which Nate has shown, that this argument about the definition of atheism, Nate had said, people just want to see us fighting to the death about this argument, meaning keeping the internet debate going. Manya.
It's okay. The context doesn't matter to her.
Oh, good grief.
It doesn't matter. Steve doesn't give a shit about them anymore. He really doesn't. He's got the facts and the evidence handy. He knows what he's talking about. And when they start lying, he just puts it out again. Hopefully they'll stop lying, and then he won't have to keep putting it out again. But he's pretty much done with
they're
them.
just trolls. That's all. That's why another one's going to do with them to begin with. This is what I'm saying. I don't have
the
to.
other name I heard was Hannah, like Hannah and Reds, right?
Yeah, she's come. She's come out. She's like the cockroach she is. She's coming back around for some reason.
She mad.
Big mad.
How's Reds doing?
He's doing good.
Okay.
There's been there's been some fuckery. That's a whole different slew of fuckery. I don't know if you want to start that one. That's a whole other thing.
No. That is entirely
different. Another time.
Reds deals with it. Reds deals with his own level of fuckery. Okay.
Something that I would caution, because again,
Reds is abusive. Reds showed himself to be abusive. Unfortunately, there was a whole group of people there who witnessed it. So it wasn't just his roommate who saw it. It wasn't just Hannah who saw it. It was a whole group of people.
There's a pattern that I witnessed for a while that made me uncomfortable pre the trip. But I did my best to try to smooth, keep it smooth, because you got to get through this, right? And play nice. But there was a pattern that I recognized a long time ago. I had told her to leave you way before that trip.
I witnessed it firsthand. Cheshire didn't, but I'm sure Cheshire thinks she knows all about it.
Yeah, she should keep her little nose out of things that don't involve her
Yeah.
and things that she wasn't there for. And then she'd be doing just fine.
Talk to you.
No, I don't care
If you want to know what's going on, you're more than welcome to go check out their Twitters, right?
I am definitely Bruce Banner.
Yeah, like in general, if you're going to engage with these people, be mindful that they are going they're not engaging with you because they give a shit about you.
Right.
They're engaging with you because they think that they can use you to attack other people.
That's not true. I like
Projection.
Rob. I need to explain this because, like, I interact with Rob like in the past quite a bit. You know, in the years past. I interact with Rob because I like Rob. I like him. I like how he explains religion and science. I like how he is not mean or cruel, that his God doesn't demand horrible things of him. I like how he has calm discussions. I like how he's kind to people and gracious to people. He's always been more than kind to me. Like, I like Rob for Rob. I've always liked Rob for Rob, period. And Rob can like you too if he wants to. Whatever.
They can go on your tweets to pony off.
And I'm old enough to see through that. And
Well, yeah, and I don't mean you specifically, Robert. I mean you, the general, anybody who decides they want to engage with this. But there's another degree of that, and it's not about whether it harms Steve or me or 82 or whoever. It's a lot of what they say and do is racist, homophobic, transphobia, on top of apologetics for those things.
Oh my God, should we just like splice together all the homophobic, transphobic things that y'all do? And I mean by y'all, not some random troll. Like, everybody's connected and it's a Gordian knot. Let's just focus on Reds and Steve. We could have a whole video of Reds and Steve being homophobic shitbags.
But we won't.
Maybe we should. It'd be content.
If you call them out on those things, right? And so it's not just us as individuals you're harming, it's victims of those things that are being harmed by proxy. They're collateral. So if you are engaging with them, this is the collateral damage that is going to happen, period. Going to happen.
Hang on a minute. Just stop there. Here's Chesh telling someone that if you engage with these people, you will be harming actual victims. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If you are engaging with them, this is the collateral damage that is going to happen, period. Going to happen if you engage with them. So it's something that you need to consider if that's something that you want to potentially incidentally boost one way or another.
And that's why I don't want to be around those people that want to engage with them. And Chester knows this too. Well, Chester and I have unfollowed each other for that very reason. And not that we don't love each other. I love Chester to death, but I didn't want her to see certain things. She's unfollowed me. She didn't want to see certain things. We just do it for a little while, then go back.
We go back and forth.
Yeah, it's nothing personal at all. Neither one of us have any personal. It's like, hey, you're doing your thing for this thing with the like she talks to people that I don't want to have any fucking thing to do with, but that's her right to do so.
Wait. I've got all the blocks finally.
Hang on.
Captain,
you guys have said. Hang on. I want to make sure I'm understanding this right. You guys have set a healthy boundary and know how to maintain it.
That's one of the reasons why you have a healthy partnership when you have people like that. That you could do that. When you could set those kind of boundaries and say, look, do your thing here. I'm going to be doing this over here. We're not bound at the hip. What we do is we ask each other's opinions and advice. If I think her opinion is sound after pondering it, we'll go with it. If she thinks mine's sound, we'll go with that. But we just have a back and forth. Unlike Kyle, it was his way or nothing every fucking time.
One of my favorite interactions I ever had on Twitter was my one and only interaction I ever had with Godless Engineer. And it was Steve and Godless Engineer were discussing engineering, the term engineering. And Steve was like, hey, when I use this word, I think of this. It seems to me that the term engineer is very, very broad, as it seems to include things that are not this thing. And GE comes swinging in and says, fuck you, I'm an engineer. And Steve's like, I didn't see you weren't, but do you have these qualifications? And he's like, fuck you, I'm an engineer.
So
and he's
big
like,
mad.
And I was like, okay, you both realize you're saying the same thing, right? That's
Yeah,
that's what I said.
As far as I know, he's good friends with Kyle, right? Or did
Oh
they
yeah. Well, are they still friends? Good question. Who knows?
Because I know Kyle officiated a marriage. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. He was the officiant of GE and Casey's wedding.
Yeah, that's the extent of what I know. Like,
which,
yeah.
oddly enough, depending on which state it happened in, could have actually negated the legality of the wedding.
Oh, shut up, AT.
And by the way, I don't. At this point, I don't think he's
pro dachshunds.
God's engineer is an actual engineer. But before, I was willing to give him some benefit of the doubt. Now I just think he's a fuckwad. I mean,
well, so and as far as
There
we
you
know,
go. Is Manya an engineer yet, or is she still in school? Asking, just because, I think she's a fuckwad.
Caitlin Chloe was supporting Kyle up until at least a year ago publicly, so I don't know if they still are friends or if they still are talking. They publicly supported him.
I know you hate this, but I'm going to give credit where it's due. She's at least more willing to call people out than he is. He's
Not Kyle.
No. Caitlin's more willing to call people out than Godless. God's engineer is one of the dumbest people I've ever ran across in my entire life.
Yeah, whatever.
And so he's not willing to make a stand on anything.
I mean, I don't hate you for that. I think that's fine.
We can sum that up with just this question. Can you think of anyone who has been bested in a debate by Kent Hovind and G-Man?
No, he's the only one. Even Robert has to laugh at that.
So I have to tell you something. The reason why GE was bested by G-Man is because GE assumes people are honest, or at least back then. And he came from a very honest, I'm assuming I'm going to deal with an honest actor. He was very naive in that. I think he's probably learned since, I'm hoping. But that is why he lost. It's not that he's stupid. It's that he was way too charitable in assuming that this guy wasn't going to be a complete liar.
So I just want to point out that what these women are doing, Cheshire, Manya, and also Jared, they are providing an insulation around Steve. This is something that Cheshire mistakenly let me know way back in September of 2019 after she did her hit piece on Fiona Robertson with Red's Rhetoric, simply because because Fiona Robertson handed Steve his ass in her video, right, on her own channel, and they didn't like that. So they had to straw man her argument and misrepresent her in a number of different ways. And then the after show, Cheshire had to sit there and explain to people, see, this is why we have to create an insulation around Steve. So the next time these people make a video, you guys will know not to watch that. Yeah. You guys will know not to pay attention to them, that they're dishonest, that they're bad people, that they're, dark arts on the dark web wizards or some shit. Yeah, whatever they are, they're evil. And so now now you're in the know. She said that. Words to that effect. But she definitely said the insulation part.
If it would have been Kent Hovind, G-Man, and Nephilim Free, that would have been the perfect trifecta.
To finish up what I was saying, I came in and said, hey, you do realize you're both saying the same thing. You're saying there's different definitions of engineer, and maybe the term is too broad. GE said, you don't know what you're talking about. Fuck you, stupid bitch, and blocked me.
Maybe the smartest thing GE has ever done.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, okay. Neat.
I have a question for Steve, if I could ask.
Yeah, is that Crystal?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I hear you guys talking about all that stuff that people are trying to attack you for, but I'm just kind of wondering, is there a general theme that people try to aggravate you with? Is there something about you, in particular, that they don't?
It doesn't.
Oh, you're just fishing for ammo.
Well, it's funny. It doesn't aggravate me directed at me. Like I said, they've been doing this for so long, I'm just numb to it. But they go after people that I care about, and that's when my anger comes out. That's when I really will take a stand and go, enough. And they want that. I mean, I give them what they want. I understand that, but at the same time, I have to weigh the pros and cons. I might be giving them what they want, but I'm also telling other people I am sick of it. I'm done with it when they're going after people that I care about. And I hope that other people will recognize that, and they will put the kibosh on these people and not engage with them, not talk to them, ignore them, and hopefully that, because again, I don't have to prove my case anymore about these people. They do it themselves. The fact that they're coming around in my live chat proves to you that they will not fucking stay away. They're the harassers, they're the aggressors, they're the trolls, they're the gang stalkers that we've been saying for how many fucking years that we want to get rid of.
They admitted that they have a Discord that they all sit in, taking screenshots and getting every single thing any of us any say.
There's a Discord that we all sit in, and all we do is do that. Or maybe once in a
Hang
while we
on.
laugh at you.
Hang on. Sitting there in the Discord and all they ever do is take screenshots. But Steve has astronomy boy writing bots to capture every single tweet that KJP makes.
Yeah, there's a whole
And
bot.
delete rejection.
Well, that's the other thing is like people chat back and forth constantly, right? Like
You dox people.
Tom Rabbit was in this server just earlier. Shout out to Tom Rabbit. And his server, there are a lot of people that have not liked me in the past, and guess what? They have mocked me and shared things and stuff like that. That happens. You can't micromanage people's interactions. Like it's you either participate or don't or whatever you do. I don't know, but like people will talk. Like like I don't understand why they think they can police people's interactions or what they talk about or what they chuckle about. While they have like a whole bot going where everything that Katie tweets is going to Astronomy Live's cloud or whatever.
You hang out with grifters and people who don't really know the topics, don't know the community, don't know what's going on, and are trying to take it down piece by piece. You're trying to destroy individuals. You're going after people. Don't think people aren't going to notice that when you're acting like a fucking lolcow. They're going to notice. Stop doing that and people will just sort of wander off. That's really my best advice to anybody who's doing the shit that you're doing. Yeah. But if you keep attacking people and lying about people, people are going to correct you. And that's what we're doing today. We're giving our side. And on my channel, every time you attack somebody on your cesspool show, quote unquote show, we're going to push back on it every single time.
Is Randolph Richardson not allowed to push back on the lies and mud that you slung on him? Is he not allowed to push back? Or if he's pushed back, is that bad?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that. You mustn't push back on King Steve.
And eventually you'll stop because people will start to see that you're not really being very honest when you're attacking these people. And when they give their side of the story, they'll have both sides of the story. Yeah. Eventually,
any of us say
people will
anywhere,
see.
and all
It'll
was in
take
there.
a while.
And they're
That's
more
what
than welcome to
they
do
did
that.
me in 82. That's what they did to me in 82 and accused us of falsely, of doxing someone when we were just talking about a video. That's all we were
They
talking
can
about.
do anything they want on their own Discord.
And I was threatened with doxing over that
As-
and physical.
It was a video that doxed somebody you were talking about, Manya. That she misses that bit out, doesn't she?
Yeah. This is Crafty, right? That we're talking about now. Like
Yeah, 82 and Manya were talking about a video which doxed Crafty.
Yeah, and then they
That's
and then
why
and
they said you knew about the doxing.
and then
You
they
were
were
talking about the
slimy
video
about
that
it.
did the doxing.
Yeah,
they were slimy about it, and they're like, "Oh, but she's
asking when is it coming out?"
Yep.
Type
And then
thing.
on Twitter, Cheshire showed the video, and said, "Is this what they're talking about? Where's the doxing?" Which was right there in the video. And she just had a whole long conversation on Twitter, redoxing Crafty again. You're a doxer. You're a fucking evil doxer, Cheese. And so is Steve, because Steve was participating in that.
And Manya was in on it.
Production. Manya was in on it. So these good people, are sitting in this slime pit with these doxers. Yeah. It's a
All right.
shame.
I'm almost done here, guys.
I'm getting really tired. Forgive me.
As soon as they come over to my channel, they're harassing people that I care about. Period.
Well, there's a little bit. The thing is you can go a little bit further with that. It depends on how where you want to draw that boundary. Steve's deciding to draw it there, but to put it into perspective, Boole is dead, and these people are still trying to go after Boole.
Tell Robert. I think he has a right to know what they did.
Okay, so that's the clip that we played before. So now we're at
Yeah.
full circle. So I can play that.
I barely mention him. Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually play the clip one more time, and it's probably the worst thing ever out of all of it. But there's a lot of horrible things that have been happening. And later in the stream, she ties everybody to this guy. But first of all, it's a misrepresentative of the person, but also I'm not connected to the person. But watch this. They're going to connect me to somebody I'm not connected to.
And Holy Spackle and her little entourage have put his autopsy report.
Not true.
Somebody has put his autopsy report on their webpage. They're supporting this, and this person who put the autopsy report on his webpage called the coroner to try to get him to change his report to say it was murder, such that scared the coroner to the point the coroner had to call Brule's family and tell them there's a sociopath fucking trying to change it to murder. And he's like, I'm not changing my report. This person is unhinged. And this is that group.
Not true.
No. That's the group Steve used to hang out in with Robert Beatty on Facebook.
Don't hang out with the dude. Sorry, can't help you. It's not my group, my entourage. Maybe take it up with that dude if you have a problem. Sorry, can't help you. Played this clip in the beginning, by the way. I explained it in the beginning, and that's absolute bullshit. So that being said, I've reached the end of the stream. It is a stream that's worthy of a watch. It's hilarious in the beginning when they talk about ghost stories. It's pure comedy. It is ridiculous throughout, and it culminates into extreme paranoia where they're tying everybody to everybody. And so it's really funny. If you guys would like an after show, I can open it up to a new hangout and do an after show where everybody kind of chills and talks about it. And so that way we can kind of split this into bits because it's already going on a really long time. That being said, my main sidekicks here. I appreciate my co-hostesses or hosts. I don't know what's proper anymore. I appreciate you guys.
Your entourage.
My entourage. I appreciate my entourage. In fact, all y'all out there are part of my entourage, apparently. If you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, they are also part of my entourage. So this means, Matt Dillahunty somewhere along the line is a part of my entourage, of course, everybody is. We're all entouraging out here. Godless Girl. Did you know Godless Girl is part of my entourage? It's just all a plot.
She doesn't deserve water.
She doesn't deserve water. It's all a fake. We're actually friends. It's a part of our entourage.
These guys want an after show. I don't know where that would happen. On Unirock's channel.
So after show where people have access to it versus like here's two people talking. I would suggest maybe.
I'm too tired for anything. I'm fighting an MS exacerbation. I'm exhausted. Or I'd host it. But where do you guys want to go?
I can either do it. I can do it here because I have room for 10, or we can go elsewhere, or we can call it.
Well, you can try and see how many people you can get in here, and if you get 10, you get 10.
Well, the reason is Unis is really hard to access, and for old schoolers, yeah.
I think it'll be here, Rock, a lot.
All right, it'll be here.
He's not streaming tonight, from what I understand, right?
Okay. All right, cool. No conflict then. It's going to be here. I am going to start an after show in about 10 minutes. And then final words here. Exiled, anything to say?
Nope. It'll be right here, though, right? So it'll be in the same stream.
Yeah. Fiona, did you have any thoughts?
Music for 10 minutes or something. Yeah.
Did I have any thoughts? After listening to that, no, because my brain's melted at the lies. But if Steve wants people to not say anything, maybe he should stop telling lies about people that they have to push back on. And then nobody's going to pay him any attention. We're just sick of his lies.
Yeah. And the thing is like some of us have ignored it or tried to play. Like what happened with Hillary, that was a lot of ignoring. We had a big divide, and then we said our opinions, and there was a lot of ignoring. and the result was a complete repeat
He
later
was
on.
just a sexist pig. Let him alone, guys. Anyway.
Yeah. And look how well that worked out.
Yeah, just mind blowing. And you know what? Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. We try to show you what we can and back up what we can. I'm the disorganized as fuck. I understand that. But we really do try to show you and explain things as best as we can. And you know what? You can hang out with whoever you want to and be friends with whoever you want to in the end. We share our concerns and stuff like that. But in the end, do you. And do not, Chess is saying people would harass Rob. Do not harass people like Rob. Rob is a good guy. We had a lot of people that were good people that are Switzerland for a very long time. And so like there's yelling going on because the dogs are just screaming at each other's faces. Rah, 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 rah. If you hear that in the background, they're like, they do this every night. Oh my god. Inside voice ruffle. Anyway, I'm so distracted now because there's like screaming. So in the stream, all sorts of stuff happened. My dog got stuck under the couch. They're screaming at each other in the face. They have these bark offs where they yell at each other. It's just, this happens every day and it's crazy. So yeah, it's a new puppy that's adjusting to an older dog that's had enough, and they just yell at each other a lot. It's kind of funny. They get along okay, and then at night he wants to play with his ball but not her, and she wants to play with him, and then they just yell at each other. So that happens a lot. So that's what you're hearing in the background. It's madness. We took her to the bay the other day, and she just dove into the bay and just tried to swim away. It was terrifying. I was like, oh my God, come back. First time ever in the bay, no fear whatsoever. She's like, I'm a water dog, and just started swimming and off. Ran off and swam off, and we were like, oh my God, she's going to come back. Thank God it was the bay and not the ocean, because, like waves and stuff. But wow, she's wild, man. Never had a dog quite like her. But she's pretty great. Anyway, wow. So I'm going to do an after show in a bit, and I'm going to just hide my lovely friends here and my entourage, pew, pew, and just say, hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with resisting. If you feel like you have to set the record straight and people are saying something about you or someone else, and you say enough is enough, and you want to critique or respond to something, and it's public, it's on YouTube, it's fair. It's fair use. I am also not a psychopath. I appreciate that nothing has changed, that you continue and have continued to use mental illness as a way to attack people and to say that we're horrible people. Nothing's changed, Steve, there. I'm glad that you've grown as a person. I'm doing pretty great myself. I work really hard on my mental health, actually. And I'm not a psychopath. I do have a lot of empathy. And actually, I'm very driven by empathy. So you got me wrong there, just so you know. Anyway, I'm gonna play a thing. So you remember Cheshire talked about the Gordian knot and how we're just all intertwined and like we're all connected. And somehow she managed to connect everybody to ACA, Jimmy Snow, everybody. Like everybody's all connected in this Gordian knot. Well, I find it humorous, and I'm just gonna play us out on how comparative it is once again to this scene from the L Word reenacted here, because I think it's hilarious that there's this sort of 6 degrees, everybody's connected, so everybody's at fault kind of thing going on.
not dirty, it's the way I say it. I know a guy named Joey. Joey goes with Moe. Moe goes with Jaime. And Jaime goes with Sadie. And Sadie goes with Avie. And Avie goes with Davie. And Davie goes with Howard. And Howard goes with Charlotte. And Charlotte goes with Shirley. And Shirley goes with Pearlie. And Pearlie goes with Yera. What a drag, what a drag. I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me. I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm terrifically mad, because I know a guy, it should happen already. I know a guy named Solly. Solly goes with Molly. Molly goes with Charlie. And Charlie goes with Ollie. And Ollie goes with Eddie. And Eddie goes with Teddy. And Teddy goes with Freddie. And Freddie goes with Jackie. And Jackie goes with Blackie. And Blackie goes with Irving. And Irving goes with Seymour. And Seymour goes with Sydney. And Sydney goes with Melvin. And Melvin goes with Marvin. And Marvin goes with Terry. And Terry goes with Jerry. And Jerry goes with Slamey. And Slamey goes with Maishy. And Maishy goes with Vito. And Vito goes with Guido. And Guido goes with Sammy. And Sammy goes with Manny. And Manny goes with Jaime. What a drag, what a drag. I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me. I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm not mad, I'm